Ask the panel. Tweet your questions with the hashtag SN Memorial Cup. We just might answer your question on the air during the first intermission. Saskatoon finished fourth. The host Blades did win their first postseason game out of the last 13. London wound up third. Portland and Halifax here to determine who is number one. Hand things off to the house and Jeff Hayes.
Fans, please draw your attention to center ice and welcome our official party for tonight's opening ceremonies. Please welcome CHL President David Branch. Commander of 15 Wing Moose Jaw, Colonel Paul Goddard. Vice President and Head of Marketing for MasterCard Canada, Milos Baranisvic. Tonight's special guest was a part of the gold medal winning Canadian team at the 1985 World Junior Championships, was the first overall draft pick in the 1985 NHL entry draft, and went on to spend 15 seasons in the NHL where he is well known for his physical play. He quickly became a fan favorite, and his number 17 jersey was retired in 2008 by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Please welcome Saskatoon Blades alumni, Saskatchewan's own Wendell Clark. Fans, also please welcome Command Chief Warrant Officer Deborah Matthews. Member of the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup Host Organizing Committee, Ken Cheveldayoff. And Federal Minister of Sport, Belle Gassel. We now ask that the captains please come to center ice for the ceremonial face-off. Now, fans, please rise and kindly remove your headwear and join Sonia Reed Noble and members of the Canadian Forces Honor Guard in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner and "O Canada."
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Neutral site game, the best crowd of the week. Nathan MacKinnon scored a second period hat trick last Saturday. He set the tone for a high scoring tournament that has brought us to the 2013 championship game. Halifax out to make team history. Portland trying to continue their own tradition. The 2013 final awaits. Gene Principe.
With Nathan MacKinnon, and what's kind of going through your mind and body as you get set for this very big game?
Yeah, obviously a couple butterflies coming into it, but we're a confident bunch of guys, and like I said, a couple butterflies, but I think that will work as well as we get started, and it should be a fun game.
Do you think that having a few days rest will provide you with an advantage depending on the length of this game?
No, I don't know how much of an advantage it is, but it's definitely not going to hurt us. Portland's going to come out strong, and they're going to be ready to go, and we definitely have to match their intensity, and hopefully things work out tonight.
As you know, you had a great game in the round robin against Portland. Are you thinking that you can try and match that tonight?
You know what? I'm not coming with too many expectations. Just the expectation to win and play my game. That's what I did in the past few games, and expectations make it harder. So I'm just going to try to work hard both sides of the puck and move my feet, and hopefully good things happen.
Nathan, thank you and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Nathan MacKinnon, half of his points have come in that one win against Portland. RJ and Sam, can he and his team do it again?
Well, that is the big question, and we will know our answer in a couple of hours. The starting goalie brought to you by Shreddy's, official cereal of the CHL, and we will start with the visiting team in this final, the Portland Winterhawks. Matt Carruth. He is an overage player, so this will be his last game in junior hockey. He's from Shorewood, Minnesota. He was the WHL Western Conference first-team All-Star goaltender. He was the Western Conference Goalie of the Year and is the all-time winningest WHL goalie with regular season and playoff games combined. For the Halifax Mooseheads, it will be 17-year-old Zachary Foucali from Rosemère, Quebec. He is a QMJHL first-team All-Star goaltender, and he is the franchise leader with wins in a season that was 45 of them this year, and all-time wins as well. We would like to welcome our deployed Canadian Forces members watching on Canadian Forces television, and a special hello to the Halifax personnel on HMC Estorada, who are very proud of their hometown team. This quest for these two teams started back on September 21st, just over 8 months later. This game will determine the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup champion. The Halifax Mooseheads in red, the Portland Winterhawks in white. Portland, an early start. Seth Jones lofted one in, and Zach Foucali might have been deflected. He was able to make the save. Bouncing puck, Halifax having trouble getting it out. Trey Lewis reaches for it. Joey Baker down low now. Austin Hardy will have an opportunity to clear. It gets to the line. Now it's out, and the captain of the Mooseheads, Trey Lewis, sends it into Portland net.
Good battle there and a nice opening shift for the Portland Winterhawks.
Seth Jones, his progress was cut off by Jonathan Drouin, number 27 for Halifax, the newly crowned CHL Most Outstanding Player. Seth Jones, number 3 for Portland, sends it in. He's been out there since this game started. A full minute shift. He heads off to the bench. Nathan MacKinnon, he's number 22 for Halifax, digging in the corner, but it's Portland with a chance. Derek Pouliot down low. This is the top line for the Winterhawks against the top line for the Mooseheads. Shot from the line goes wide. Derek Pouliot, number 51 for Portland. He's the defenseman scoring leader at this MasterCard Memorial Cup. MacKinnon with a head of steam trying to poke it past Troy Rutkowski. He got it past, but it was offside. Keys to the game. Brought to you by Irwin Tools, the makers of Vice Grip Group Lock Pliers. Invite you to celebrate National Tradesman Day on September 20th.
Well, we talked to Travis Green after the morning skate today, and he said back pressure is going to be really key to try and stymie the Halifax forwards. And for Dominic Ducharme and the Halifax Mooseheads, a 5-man commitment is going to be required because of how often that defense corps likes to jump up into the rush for this very skilled Portland team.
Halifax Mooseheads have been off since Tuesday. They got that bye straight into the final. Portland Winterhawks, they played Friday. It was a tough game against London. The London Knights in the semifinal, a 2-1 win for Portland. And the two top teams in the CHL are going toe-to-toe for the ultimate prize. Tyler Wotherspoon He gets the pass across to Jones. A light shot. That got through to Fucale. Oliver Bjorkstrand. He was the rookie scoring leader in the Western Hockey League. He can't do much with Brent Andrews on his back. Brent Andrews, number 79. He's a Nashville draft pick. He's able to skate it outside the zone. Halifax in need of a change.
That second line will feature Paul Bittner, a 16-year-old for the Portland Winterhawks. Taylor Lear, who started this tournament, was knocked out of it on a big hit by Dalton Crowe.
Ashley intercepts a pass. The trailer is Stephen McCauley, and he just missed the net. Seth Jones, he's joined the rush. Now he backs off. He's at the tail end of a shift. Adam Duchamplain tried to get it through to the net. McCauley blocked it. Puck bouncing around in there. Down in front of the net was Taylor Peters. He was the only man back there, and he stumbled as he went to get the puck.
I think Fucale gave him a little push.
Want to help your defense once in a while. Be that third D-man back there.
Very subtle on his part.
Darcy Ashley from Prince Edward Island dumps it in. Takes a rough ride there from Derek Gouliot, then returns the favor. Brendan Leipzig signed his entry-level contract on his 19th birthday. That was a week ago today. He's number 28 for the Portland Winterhawks. And this is a dangerous line out there for Portland. They were the top 3 scorers in the Western Hockey League. Leipzig and Nick Patan tied at 120 points. Ty Ratty wasn't far behind in third. Martin Burke chops at one. That went wide.
I think 3 guys combining for 350 points. Just deadly for Portland.
Well, we're seeing big line against big line. Nathan McKinnon trying to catch up and back check. Nick Patan, a backhand shot off the side of the net.
Patan, I love the subtleties in this game. He hasn't scored in this tournament. He does have 6 assists to put him amongst the scoring leaders. He's done a lot of good things in all 3 zones.
Drouin hits Martin Burke. Burke with a shot that's up high. Bounces right back out in front of the net. Nobody there for Halifax.
Boy, he's got a bomb of a shot, but it's only effective when it gets on goal. 2 grade A opportunities for Halifax on both occasions, missing the net. Maybe the nerves involved for Halifax early on.
Good battle between Drouin and Seth Jones. Finally, Portland able to clear it. This will be right on Fucale, and Bjorkstrand is right at the top of the blue paint, so he's hangs on.
Boy, Halifax hemmed in its own zone a couple of times, but when it does get some offensive pressure, it's grade A opportunity, one after another. 2-on-1 created. Ashley back to the trailing McCauley, who misses the net, and then a little later, McKinnon initiates the rush. There's Burke right between the circles, and he too misses the net. You get down that close, it's got to get to the net.
Shots right now, 5-0 in favor of Portland. Not a puck on Matt Caruth yet. Maybe now. Andrew Ryan trying to stick handle his way through. Andrew Ryan, he's from Paradise, Newfoundland. Picks the pocket of Paul Bittner, but Bittner recovered for a moment. Halifax has it again. Andrews a shot. That whistled up high again. They can't hit the net. Ryan Falkenham gives it to Murphy. There's one kicked out by Caruth. Falkenham another chance. That one was blocked. High shot off the end boards. Andrews in front. Falkenham tried to get it on. Another chance, and Portland is really collapsing around their goal and not letting those pucks through.
A good job there by the Portland defense to pass in front of their own goal. You look at Dominic Ducharme, and he was faced with 4 days off and how to manage that time. We're wondering if he was going to skate his team this morning, because he doesn't bring his team on the ice unless they're doing something positive, and then they're doing it at full speed. So they decided to go with a 15-minute hard skate this morning. They were hoping maybe the Portland Winterhawks would give up their ice time, as they've done most of the playoffs. That wasn't the case. 2 black aces came out for Portland, a little gamesmanship early on, so as to not allow Halifax to get that earlier skate time in.
It was interesting because he said if the game was 6 o'clock local, no doubt he'd have a morning skate. If it was 4 o'clock local, no doubt he would not have a morning skate. So that 5 o'clock start really threw a wrench into it. It took him a while to decide.
And he helped lean on some of his veterans to get a feel for what the team wants. They wanted to skate.
Derek Gouliot, he's always dangerous. That shot, maybe it was a pass. It never got through, and a high stick is called as Duchamplain touches it.
Well, you look at these 2 hockey clubs, this is the dream matchup. The number 1 and number 2 teams in the Canadian Hockey League. The top 3 rated North American NHL draft prospects. And just how good were these teams all year? Well, they each started in the top 10 and finished 1 and 2. Weeks at number 1, they each spent time there as well. But both teams in the top 10 for all 26 weeks, the only 2 teams in the Canadian Hockey League to achieve that feat.
Conrad Albeltsauser, number 10 for Halifax. He's an overage defenseman, a German import. This will be his final game of junior hockey. Nathan McKinnon, fun to watch him skate. Flies in over the line, back to Drouin. Drouin looking in. Drouin can't get a shot after he made the move on Caruth, but there will be a hooking call, and Halifax will have a power play.
Well, the guys in the panel touched on Jonathan Drouin before this game, and while he started to show signs, especially in Halifax's last game, look at the patience and creativity on his part, and it starts here by good entrance into the zone by McKinnon. He wins a puck battle, he gets it back to Drouin. Patience, creativity, wait. At the last second, he tries to go backhand. At the very least, he's able to draw that penalty. So Leipzig heads to the box, and Drouin that close to making it 1-0, even lifting his stick off the puck for that second. He just shows that creativity and poise in front of the net. You gotta love this the way this guy plays.
Puck turned over. Drouin tried to pass it down low, gets it back. Jonathan Drouin always seems to be able to find the open man. Martin Burke is the open man this time. In front of Fournier, side of the net, McKinnon. Matt Caruth came over and made a big save.
Oh boy, Halifax really squeezing the sticks right now with what we've seen out of McKinnon all season long. This is an opportunity he does not miss. He is net side and it's put down there, but Matt Caruth, give him credit, he gets across to make a huge save as he leaves the net thereafter. Perfect pass, there's McKinnon, tries to bring it to the forehand. Caruth comes over and makes a beautiful save. And the reason why everyone was whacking at it is because it was loose. And you see McKinnon, and that puck gets up in the air, it's 1-0 Halifax.
Power play here for the Mooseheads. Albeltsauser's pass off the stick of Taylor Peters and goes into the Portland bench.
And there is the aforementioned Nathan McKinnon, who's been the best player, I think, from start to finish to this point in the tournament. Leading the way with 8 points over Halifax's 3 games. And right from game 1, and even in the morning skate this morning, you got to feel he had a little jump, but I think he's squeezing it a little tight right now.
Well, if there has been a part of Portland's game that has not been good at the MasterCard Memorial Cup, their penalty kill. They've allowed at least 1 power play goal in every game they've played. Jonathan Drouin gets it to Albeltsauser. He scores! Conrad Albeltsauser on the power play, and the Halifax Mooseheads lead 1-0.
This is a really good adjustment here for Dominic Ducharme and the Halifax Mooseheads. Normally you'll see Marty Burke in that spot, but once he moves down to the half wall, that redirects the attention. That leaves Albeltsauser with a lane at the top of the umbrella. His cannon shot on the one time on the perfect pass from Drouin makes it 1-0. And again, you just look at that little tiny subtle move by Drouin. He draws Ratty away from him, and then that opens up the lane to get it to Albeltsauser. A big shot there from the German-born defenseman, and the Mooseheads are on the board first.
Stéphane Fournier parked right in front of Matt Caruth. Fournier, he's been a power play specialist all year. He's scored a lot of power play goals, but that one is a big-time play, too, in front of the net. The Mooseheads get that important first goal in this MasterCard Memorial Cup championship game. Conrad Albeltsauser on the power play.
What a way for the Halifax Mooseheads to start their game, as Dominic Ducharme is just determining his line combinations. And will there be much line juggling tonight, or will you try to keep Nathan McKinnon's line up against Ty Ratty's line?
Oh, we'll see how it goes along the game, and it all depends how everything goes. So right now, we like the way the game is going, and we'll keep it that way.
How does that first goal just help your entire team relax?
Well, I mean, we had scoring chances from Drouin, McKinnon, and Ferk, and even McCauley, so it's nice to get that first one in.
Dominic, thank you.
He's locked in, isn't he? And that's the thing he talked about earlier this week. You can't get too caught up in the line matching, because if you do so, you start to lose your bench. You look up and down the bench, the players are looking back. Why am I not on? You get too consumed with that, and you worry about losing your bench. But the fact of the matter is, both of these teams are so deep that line matching becomes a little bit less when it comes to the forwards, and a little more important when it comes to the defensemen that are out there against the big line.
Derek Pouliot, first round pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Puck came to the line, now it's out. Bouncing puck, Ryan Falkenham, he's a Halifax native, sent it in. Andrew Ryan comes barreling in. Joey Baker, he just lofts one deep. Derek Pouliot, he's from Weyburn, Saskatchewan, playing in his home province here in Saskatoon. Puck gets past Rutkowski. That'll force Caruth out to play it. Moves it to his captain, Rutkowski, and then he's hit hard along the boards by Andrew Ryan. Rutkowski tries to get to it, gets hit again. Fournier in front of the net, poking at it, and Matt Caruth wouldn't budge. And finally gets a handle on it.
Well, great job here on the forecheck, especially by Andrew Ryan. He takes a great angle in to make the hit on Rutkowski, and as he does so, he forces him to cough it up. Look at this angle right here. He sees Rutkowski going back, so instead of going back toward his own zone, he meets him where he is at the boards. First bump creates the turnover. The second bump surely does. And as soon as one man's in, he's got great puck support thereafter. Good chance for Fournier thanks to Ryan's forecheck.
Mackenzie Weegar, the only rookie in the lineup for Halifax. He's number 52. There's a big hit by Matt Murphy, standing up Oliver Bjorkstrand. Both of them are draft eligible for the upcoming entry draft. Stephen McCauley's shot off a leg. Chase Delio, number 9 for Portland, 17-year-old from California. Centers this second line for the Winterhawks. Delio has it, quick shot, Fucale got over, and he absorbed it. There was no rebound.
One of the players I did not know a lot about for Portland coming into this tournament was Chase Delio out of California, and he has impressed me so much with his two-way game, and he has been around the net all tournament long. Here he gets an opportunity, but just can't get very good wood on it. Pass comes right between the legs of Weegar, and there's Delio. He's off balance, tries to one-time it and use that element of surprise. Would have been better served to stop it to get more on it.
Shot from Pouliot, a screen shot, missed the net. Drouin gets it ahead to Albitshauser. Nathan McKinnon leads the rush for Halifax. Big shot! Oh, what a beautiful goal by Nathan McKinnon. Big players in big games, and McKinnon makes it 2-0.
Well, Matt Caruth might start to be having nightmares about what happened in the first meeting between these two clubs. Right off the draw, Halifax is able to, after the shot from Portland, break out. And you can see good puck support here on the rush. Now it's a simple fact of getting a guy who just wants more than everybody else. As McKinnon comes across the line, he's 1 against 3. He's able to kick it from blade to stick. And that element of surprise with a quick shot gives the Halifax Mooseheads a 2-0 lead. McKinnon seems to have Caruth's number.
9 points in just over 4 games. 8 minutes into his 4th game. Nathan McKinnon from Cole Harbour really racking up the points. Portland has fallen behind here, 2-0. And it's right back in their end. Stephen McCauley fielding the puck in the corner. It comes in front of the Portland net. Joey Baker works hard to get it just outside the line, and as McCauley touches it, it's offside.
Let's take another look at Nathan McKinnon's handiwork, and he's such a smart player. As Albitshauser gives it to him, he's confronted by 3 different Winterhawks, but the end of the stick check isn't going to work in this situation. McKinnon plays a hard game, and so when he gains control of the puck, he simply fires it Caruth's way, and I don't think anyone in the building, especially Caruth, expected that to come.
Well, we would like to also welcome our viewers watching in the Pacific Northwest on Comcast Sportsnet, as well as our viewers in the United States watching on the NHL Network.
Good to have everybody aboard for this tilt as we expected. All the top draft eligible players, the 2 top teams, lots of hockey to go.
Seth Jones, 18-year-old from Plano, Texas, moves it to Tyler Wotherspoon. Wotherspoon's a Calgary Flames draft pick. Murphy, quick pass ahead, a good one to Andrews. He'll have to hurry though. Bittner was closing on him. Moved it ahead to Ryan Falkenham, and he's hit hard by Wotherspoon. Seth Jones moves to the safety behind his net, trying to skate away from Falkenham. Pass up to Wotherspoon. A nice pickup at his skates. Wotherspoon's shot, that's off his stick, it goes wide. Jones snaps one toward the net. Mackenzie Weegar was able to block that. Matt Murphy ahead to Falkenham. Tail end of a shift for this Halifax line. Caruth was out. Left it for the speedy Nick Patan from Delta, BC. Witherspoon delayed a little bit. Now his teammates are onside. Abelshauser. Head to Brendan Duke. There's Martin Burke. With speed, it's McKinnon again. Nathan McKinnon a shot. Stopped by Carruth this time. Well, here are the top scorers brought to you by Fram Filters. Participate in the Fram and Crestone Drive for the Cup hockey bracket. Visit www.driveforthecup.ca.
He's been the best player in the tournament so far. Nathan McKinnon with a goal now to give him 9 points and a 1-point edge over Ty Ratty. Marty Firk, we talked about him off the top of the broadcast, how he would be an impact player for Halifax in this game. Josh Nichols from the departed Saskatoon Blades. Derek Pouliot jumping up from the back for 6 points of his own.
Martin Firk, Detroit draft pick. Out there with McKinnon and Drouin. They'll be picked in the top 3, we know that. Oliver Bjorkstrand, he's draft eligible too. Matt Murphy's pass, gets ahead to Uyghur, makes a nice move inside his own end. Now, here come the Mooseheads, 4 of them. McKinnon in front, can't redirect it. Carruth made the save. Drouin retrieves the puck in the corner. Drouin, a low shot. That was a screen shot. Matt Carruth was down and didn't let anything sneak by him on that low side. Now Nathan McKinnon all around the net. He's got one, too. Halifax has a pair. Well, the Halifax Mooseheads, they've jumped out here. 9:43 to go in the first period. It's a 2-0 lead for the Mooseheads, and right back to the big guns. 2 of the top lines in the CHL. What a treat to see them go head-to-head. There's the Portland group. Ty Ratty trying to make the pass over to Patan. Jonathan Drouin had come back. Both coaches saying that back-checking is going to be so important in this game. Martin Firk, he gets a big shot. Puck bouncing around in front of the net, and Carruth finds it and hangs on.
Well, Jonathan Drouin looks like he's got jump in his step in this hockey game as well. He's already thrown a big hits. He's gotten into it with Leipzig, and here it's his backtrack that helps initiate the rush for the Halifax Mooseheads. You said it, RJ. Both coaches really adamant on pointing out that back pressure was going to be key. And from that back pressure, Halifax able to go down and get a couple of pretty good chances. That line of Drouin, McKinnon, and Firk, oh so dangerous every time they're out there trying to match wits with a 350-point line for Portland.
Defensive zone faceoffs. Portland goes with Taylor Peters. He won that drop, but just came outside the line, so that's the reason for the whistle. There's an offside.
Just amazing how effective Peters is in the circle, and he knows that every time there's a defensive zone draw, he's going over the boards to take it. It just doesn't matter. I mean, that's how important it has become to Travis Green and how much of a weapon he's become. At some times in the Edge-North Cup Championship against Edmonton, operating at over 70% in the faceoff circle. That's big, big time.
Delio and Bjorkstrand are out there right now with Brendan Leipzig. So maybe Travis Green changing things up a little bit. Leipzig played the majority of the season with Patan and Ratty. Stephen McCauley. He gets to center, makes a pass over to Stéphane Fournier. Fournier and McCauley both overage players. That one's right on Carruth. He makes the save, and a jousting going on at the side of the net between Luca Ciampini and Troy Rutkowski.
Yeah, and again, a little more edge on the part of the Halifax forwards to go to the net to try and get in Carruth's kitchen. They saw him come unglued in that first meeting, that 7-4 win, and in fact, in that game, Portland was up 3-1. Very uncharacteristic of Carruth to give up 4 bad goals in that game. But to a man, and starting with Travis Green, the head coach, they said, you know what, Mac's going to respond. He did so. Over the course of the year, he's won 12 of 15 after a loss, including that game after the loss to Halifax.
Peters leading the rush for Portland. Gets in over the Halifax line. Murphy took it from him, didn't get it out though. Bouncing puck. Halifax chops at it. Joey Baker down low. He spotted his teammate Peters. Checked right away by Mackenzie Uyghur. Uyghur's from Nepean, Ontario. And as Halifax touches it, well, it looks like it was Portland that got a stick on it. It will be another Halifax power play coming up there. 1-for-1 on the man advantage. Peters goes to the box. Let's go to Gene Principe.
And we'll go to Sidney Crosby. Crosby is back. Travis Green is too concerned about that, but he is concerned about the game. Speaking of Sidney, is the most dangerous player in the game on the march to another Stanley Cup? Subscribe today at sportsnet.ca/magazine.
Yeah, you thought it might have been a little later in the fray, but here it is on Peters. And it's a cross-check to Uyghur, who's already down. Immediately the hand goes up thereafter. And you mentioned it, RJ. The PK has not been a strength for Portland so far in this MasterCard Memorial Cup. Travis Green remaining calm, cool, and collected. That's the one facet of his coaching that I really like. Just how calm he is. He's back there. He never gets rattled. We saw the case where Taylor Lear was taken out by that big hit from Dalton Throw. There was no penalty until supplemental discipline was given after that hockey game had ended. And Green never really lost it. And I really think a bench goes by what its coach does. If he goes nuts, the bench starts to run around when they get out there and go crazy. Green has been calm throughout this entire event.
Nathan McKinnon wins the faceoff. Back to Martin Ferk. Ferk will play the point along with Halifax on the power play.
Portland penalty number 25, Taylor Peters.
Jonathan Drouin behind the net. Back to Ferk. He wanted it one time and it bounced off. Jack Fucali. Pass ahead to Albert Sauser. Fournier almost was able to walk right between the Portland defense. They were able to recover, and then when he took a shot, it was deflected out of play.
Well, the C's parted for Fournier, and he said, oh, wow, I got a chance here. And as soon as he tried to pull it to get leverage in the forehand, he had a couple of Portland sticks in his way. Good job by Fucali to initiate this breakout, and then it's taken in over the line for Halifax to get set up. See the C's open up for Fournier, but he can't get the release off in time before Portland's stick gets in his road.
Minute 33 to go on this Halifax power play. 1-for-1 on the man advantage. Portland was so good killing penalties throughout the regular season playoffs, #1 in the Western Hockey League, but they have struggled. 6 power play goals now in their 5th game of the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Abelshauser. He scored once in the game. He has that power play goal. Martin Ferk, couple of stick handles, and by that time, Matt Caruth got over and hangs on.
Absolutely shocked. I mean, Ferk's looking for the pretty goal here, and that's not the way you can go about your business when you have an opportunity like this. It is put on his tape. If he fires it with that shot he has, it's in the back of the net. Excellent vision on the part of Durant, puts it on his tape. And Ferk, for whatever reason, not feeling it, decides to stick handle, look for the pretty pass instead, and it ends up in Caruth's pass.
Another face-off win for McKinnon. He's winning them all in that offensive zone. That helps Halifax set up on this power play. McKinnon weaving, circling, now down to Drouin. Moves it back to McKinnon, and a diving play by Brendan Leipzig is able to clear with that.
Good awareness on Leipzig's part.
Martin Ferk picks up some speed. Ratty trying to track him down. Can't do it. McKinnon stops in the corner. Open man at the line. That's Jonathan Drouin. Drouin trying to get around Ratty. Ratty pokes it away. Abelshauser, he's got to hurry. Ratty's dangerous shorthanded, and Abelshauser's there. Now ahead to Ferk. Martin Ferk doesn't shoot. Pass down low to Fournier. Too far for him, laps it around. Good hustle by Uyghur to keep it in. But then it's given away. Seth Jones, he read that play well. Short-handed. 3 Winterhawks here, and that first pass not handled by DeChamplain, and Halifax is able to go the other way. McKinnon gets it over the line, but Fournier was offside.
Seth Jones is the #1 rated player for National Hockey League Central Scouting at the upcoming National Hockey League Draft, and likely he will go to Colorado, and part of it is his hockey sense. A nice read here on the penalty kill. You don't want to pull yourself out of position, but he was so confident in his read, he was able to step up, pick off that pass, and initiate the breakout for the Portland Winterhawks.
See that +6 rating? He's tied with his teammate and defense partner, Tyler Wotherspoon, for the team lead at +6. 9 seconds to go in this power play for Halifax. Mackenzie Uyghur has ahead of steam here. Uyghur going wide. Has to circle them in. Matthew Boudreau takes a shot. That's off Rakowski stick. Another chance. It went right to Darcy Ashley. And Matt Caruth came over and stopped him.
Ashley can't believe it as he has words for Matt Caruth thereafter. And you can see him still barking at Caruth. Great burst of speed by Mackenzie Uyghur, who I think has opened a lot of eyes in this tournament. He too is a National Hockey League Central Scouting ranked player. And I think he's upped his status maybe more than anyone in this event. Ashley on the doorstep, can't make it go, and a few words for Caruth thereafter.
Uyghur was a QMJHL all-rookie team member. His cousin is Craig Rivet, so he'll get some tips on how to play defense. A long-time NHLer.
He's a winner, you know, played in the Fred Page Cup. He won the CCHL Rookie of the Year last year, playing with the Nepean Raiders, had 50 points in 53 games, did Weegar, and really learned a lot growing up. And felt like last year he really struggled because he felt the pressure of being in his first year of draft eligibility. He said, this year, yes, of course, it's in the back of the mind, but it's not my focus. My focus is on my game, my team. And you know what? The way he's played this tournament, he's pled himself a good case to be drafted.
Halifax got off to a bit of a slow start. Portland was getting all the shots, but the Mooseheads have poured it on now. Out shooting Portland 13-9. They lead the game 2-0. And there is some tough real estate to gain for Portland. Not much room out there. Seems to be a Moosehead around at all times. Rutkowski tried to pinch down. Good work by Delio, steals it. Mooseheads get it back. Paul Bittner a chance. Can't get that shot on net. Big hit in the corner. That gets the crowd going here at Credit Union Center.
It's not going to bother Trey Lewis. That guy's tougher than Rawhide. He jumped right up after it and tried to jump into play.
Eric Pouliot smoothly through center. Pouliot trying to cut to the net. Got it in front, and the Mooseheads are back. Stefan Fournier. He can't get around Seth Jones. Reaches Jones right now at 6'4". His dad, Popeye Jones, is 6'8", so might still be some growing for the young 18-year-old defenseman.
Imagine he puts a little beef on that frame, too. He'll be a menace in the National Hockey League in about 3 years.
Ratty looks for the trailer. Wotherspoon, low shot. Kukali made the save and then crashed into by Jones. Another shot blocked by the Mooseheads. Ratty moves it over to an open side. It'll be a race for the puck. Fournier able to get there. And that won't be icing. Seth Jones, he's got some time with Halifax on a change and turns it over at center to Nathan McKinnon. McKinnon, hard shot, blocker save. Rebound bounced on first. Here's another chance. A deflection in front of the net. And Matt Caruth stopped Drouin on that deflection. He's had to make some big saves to make sure this game stays only 2-0 for Halifax. It's physical. Delio Lewis in the corner. Well, what a game here. MasterCard Memorial Cup championship game. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first period. Halifax leading it 2-0. Portland looking for some offense. Jonathan Drouin trying to make a move one-on-one against Wotherspoon. Got it down low to Nathan McKinnon. McKinnon, a couple of good moves. Got it back to Drouin. Open man is third. Oh, the Mooseheads, a thing of beauty. Call it 3. What a lead.
Oh, boy. This is something special right here. Jonathan Drouin, great vision, great hockey sense, and the finish by Ferk is big league. Drouin tries to make the move here to get around Witherspoon is a tough pass, but he doesn't give up on the play. It's a simple chip down to McKinnon. Now McKinnon makes a beautiful pass to Drouin, and Drouin with his head up before he even gets the pass. He knows that Ferk's open. He just needs to find the lane to get it there. He puts it there right in perfect position for the one-timer, and Ferk with that bomb of a shot, not likely to miss. Look at the flex on that stick, the torque. Oh, man. Fun to watch these 3 guys go to work. Just brilliant.
And how about that? The CHL Coach of the Year, Dominic Ducharme. His team just makes a great play. They're up 3-0, and he's still giving tips. Always says they want that perfect game. Might not be such a thing of a perfect game, but he says we want to get closer every time.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and you make a great point, RJ. Hey, you just scored one of the nicest goals of the tournament, but we're still going to teach. We're still going to continue to forge forward. And it's funny, the last couple of days we've been watching Dominic Ducharme sit up in the box, joking with him yesterday that you've just been sitting around. He said, no, we've had meetings, we've been preparing. And all along, you really got that sense of calm and positivity and confidence. This team really playing well right now.
Matt Caruth backs one out of midair. He's had enough of that puck. Wants his team to get it out. Start scoring some goals. Big lines out there for Portland. Andrew Ryan. He's going wide. Takes it back behind the net. He's a big body, tough to handle. Played at Pickett AAA here in Saskatchewan with Notre Dame. Played with some good players. Morgan Riley, one of them. Here's a good player. Ty Ratty. His shot blocked by Albertshauser. Now Ryan in a foot race against Nick Patan. Ryan able to control with his reach. Makes the pass back to Andrews. He got all tied up with Pouliot. Here's Andrews again. Trying to get it to the front of the net. Fournier's behind the net. Stefan Fournier's pass off his skate. Brendan Leipzig slides it ahead to Pouliot. The defenseman is the lead man on the rush. Halifax has been very good in their own zone. Bjorkstrand, maybe a chance here. Moves it back. Shot from Bittner. And that might have hit his own man Patan, who was upended in front of the net. Quick pass. Portland's got to jump in their step. Good save. Fucale off Bjorkstrand, and then that's cleared into the Halifax bench, and Fucale comes up with one of his top saves of the game.
Well, Fucale tested now 13 times in this game, and I think this is his best save right here. I mean, point-blank range, and watch him kick out that pad. He's got Patan in front, and a little later on Bittner, who had a second opportunity. And Fucale standing tall between the pipes.
Ray Lewis laps one around. Stephen McCauley. He'll just move it back in deep in his own end. Matthew Boudreau takes a hit. Got to Wotherspoon at the line. He sent it right back in. Austin Hardy. Head to McCauley. Good pass to Ashley. Flying after it, Boudreau. Boudreau with a jump in his step. Boudreau was so important for Halifax in the regular season. He hasn't scored this MasterCard Memorial Cup. Saved Fucale, and once again, his defense were back to clear that rebound.
You know what, RJ, they've been underrated all tournament long, this Halifax defensive core, and they've had a strong first period. Yes, they've given up 14 shots, but no second chance opportunities. And I like what is happening with the forward group coming back to help out and support guys like McCauley coming back to help out guys like Uyghur and really providing that extra support for their 17-year-old netminder, Zachary Fucale. Pretty special time for McCauley as he plays in his third MasterCard Memorial Cup.
Well, this line of McKinnon, Drouin, and Burke is out there again. They've made some things happen. They've got people out of their seats here at Credit Union Center in this first period. Derek Pouliot dealing with McKinnon right now, trying to make a pass. He's got to skate it to center. Fucale behind his own goal. Got it to Brendan Duke. Duke's from Cole Harbour, as is Nathan McKinnon. Stephen McCauley is too. Of course, Sidney Crosby making Cole Harbour famous. This guy's pretty good too. McKinnon spins, gets knocked down by Pouliot. Got an extra shot from him too. Albertshauser will take a shot. Portland was there. They blocked it. It was Rutkowski who got in front of it. Leipzig. Pass in front, but Rutkowski looking for it. Couldn't find it.
Marty Burke back that time, and that's not normally the strength of his game, his own end of the ice, but he's committed here to it today.
Jonathan Drouin, he was waiting on the sideboards. He sends Andrews in, and he got a great shot. Matt Carruth, he's made some big saves for Portland to keep his team in it.
And you think of a couple of chances early on where Halifax missed the net from grade A scoring areas on the ice. This thing could be 5 or 6-0, but you're right, Carruth makes a brilliant save here on Andrews. And again, it's that creativity, that patience by Drouin. Watch him wait, he knows his man's coming, and he puts it right on his tape. It's one thing to recognize that you have somebody open. It's another thing to consistently put it on his tape.
Portland able to clear it out to center. Ray Lewis, he's tied up with Baker. Taylor Peters digging forward. Andrew Ryan's been effective in this first period for Halifax. Wotherspoon moves it to Adam de Champlain. Champlain was second in penalty minutes in the Western Hockey League. Here's Andrew Ryan again, trying to deke around Seth Jones. Jones pokes it off his stick before Ryan was able to take it to the net. Now Jones will jump into the rush. Not enough time to make anything happen for Jones and the Winterhawks. And what a first period for Halifax. 3-0. Drouin, 3 assists. He was in on every one of those goals. And Halifax, after 20 minutes, is in the driver's seat. Let's go upstairs to Darren, Nick, and Damien.
No rust for the Halifax Mooseheads, who had 4 days off prior to this championship game. The play of the first period brought to you by Stag Chili's Saves for Success program, where saves made resulted in contributions of $30,000 to minor hockey teams. Go to stagchili.ca to see the winners. Nick Hiprios.
Well, you certainly love the Ferk goal because it included McKinnon and Drouin, but this second goal by McKinnon just goes to show you what the scouts absolutely love about this guy. The power, the explosiveness, the ability to take the puck off the wall, get it in the dirty areas, and then how about that little play where he kicks it up to his stick, and nobody more surprised than Carruth on the second goal.
Nathan McKinnon owns Matt Carruth, his 4th goal in 4 periods against the Portland Winterhawks.
What a first period for the Halifax Mooseheads, the #1 ranked team in the CHL. 3-0 lead over Portland. The Winterhawks will have to find a way to answer in the next 40 minutes, but for Halifax, it has been a perfectly executed game plan so far.
Yeah, Dominic Ducharme told us yesterday that he wanted his team to operate in a 5-man unit, that he needed that 5-man commitment. And here we see it on the breakout. You'll see 5 guys come into the picture right here. That's an odd man situation. 5 red jerseys, 4 white jerseys. That's through the neutral zone. An excellent job that ends up in a scoring chance for the Halifax Mooseheads. We would see more of that, and here's on the back check. We stop it right here. Again, you look at this situation, 5 red jerseys against 3 white jerseys, and so it's not just happening in the offensive zone, it's happening in all 3 zones for Dominic Ducharme's Halifax Mooseheads, and that's why they're up 3-0 in this game.
What a first period for the Mooseheads. Andrew Who was in on all 3 goals. He's standing by with Gene.
And Jonathan, what did you think of a first period in which you had 3 assists?
Well, I think it was a great effort. You know, we bring into them, and I think we played our game. You know, that was our game plan of playing our game, and I think it went well.
RJ and Sam were just discussing the fact you guys are doing things really as a 5-man unit at both ends of the ice. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was our group. You know, we're a block of 5, and that's our goal. You know, when we play tight on them, it's harder to play the offense for their side.
Jonathan, thank you.
Thank you.
Jonathan Drouin, 4 points in his team's first 3 games of the tournament and 3 points in the first period tonight.
Well, it's been a 4-man unit that's had a multi-point night so far. Of course, Drouin with those 3 assists. Those 2 guys, Martin Ferk on your left, Nathan McKinnon, they have 2 points each, and defenseman Conrad Albertshauser has also chipped in with a couple of points. So what will Portland have in store in the second period? Can they find a way to get to Halifax?
I think it's just going back to the basics and having that defenseman jump up onto the rush and creating offense in that way. I mean, Halifax did a good job taking Portland's defenseman out of it, as Nick said, in that first period. I think in the second period, you're going to see a little more assertiveness on the part of that back 4 for Portland.
Austin Hardy jumps into the play. That was just knocked down by Carruth. Created another chance. Stephen McCauley moves it back to the line. There's Albertshauser. Stefan Fournier, power move, tried to wrap it around. Taylor Teeters came back. Sure that didn't happen.
There's that commitment once again, and Portland still hemmed.
Oliver Bjorkstrand, that pass off the stick of Bittner. That allows Mackenzie Weegar to take over. Gets his to his defense partner Murphy. Off the skate of McKinnon. McKinnon still got it out. Jonathan Drouin. He averaged better than 2 points per game during the regular season and playoffs. Came in with 4 points in 3 games, which he's changed that in a hurry. 3 points tonight. He's going to be right back on that 2-point per game pace pretty quick.
That's amazing. And up until December of last year, played only midget AAA hockey.
What a move by McKinnon. On his back end, back to Drouin. Pass over to Ferk. Seth Jones got over. Helio gets to the line, and Paul Bittner was offside.
This is a really good read and react here by Seth Jones. We've seen it in the first period, and we see it again here. As McKinnon gains the line, he's able to bring it down deep and then find Drouin. And Drouin, you know, he's looking past first as he did all period. In a good shooting position. Instead, he wants to give it to Ferk. But look at Jones. A subtle move to his left. He gets his stick in the road and takes that opportunity away from Martin Ferk. Good defensive awareness on the part of Seth Jones.
Andrew Ryan sends it into the corner. Brett Andrews had ahead of speed. Weatherspoon has to hurry. Made the pass ahead, but it's not out. Ryan sends it right back in. Here's Jones. Pass to to deal with Ryan Falkenham, and Falkenham got the puck back down low to Brent Andrews. Andrews, he's having a rough ride with Nick Patan. Patan tried to reverse it, almost gave it away. It got through though. There's Weatherspoon slowing things down for Portland. Pass picked up by Patan. Saucered in front. Kelly made a save. Still bouncing around. Saucer cleared it out of harm's way and down the ice, and this will be icing against Halifax.
And remember, when you ice it from your own zone here at the MasterCard Memorial Cup, you cannot make a change. In the neutral zone you can, and so Halifax will have to stay with its 5 players. Nice job here, winding and weaving his way through the zone. We talked about Portland's defensemen being more assertive. There's an example of Weatherspoon leading the rush. It leads to 2 really good chances for Portland. Maybe their 2 best of the game.
Portland wins the faceoff. Dominic Turgeon, number 23. He's the son of Pierre Turgeon. Pouliot, there's a shot, goes wide. Puck bouncing around. Falkenham trying to chip it out. Can't do it. This is a tired group out there for Halifax. Saucer looks for that lead pass. Ryan's there. He got a piece of it, and that will allow Halifax to change. Better hurry and get back into play, though. Here come the Winterhawks. Iverson, a shot, and he missed the net with that. Stefan Fournier changed the line. The trailer there was McCauley. Poked away from him. He still gets it. Behind the net, Fournier. Likes to work down low, power forward. Finally, the whistle goes. Darcy Ashley was arguing before the whistle went.
Trying to buy a call there on the delay of game. And you look at Nathan McKinnon and Jonathan Duran, ranked number 2 and 3 in the National Hockey League Central Scouting rankings. Here's what they have done over the course of the season, through the playoffs, and now here at the MasterCard Memorial Cup. 1.6 points per game, and tonight a goal and 4 assists combined for the 2. Heady stuff, and they have both looked on top of their game. And it's funny, RJ, you had a good conversation with Dominic Ducharme about what he felt his kids would bring to the table tonight.
Well, yeah, just thinking maybe there'd be a tendency to do a little too much. And he took a pause. Such a terrific coach to talk to, and said it's not that kind of game. If it was a prospect game, maybe, he said. Seth Jones, he's trying to wrap it around. And then he paused again and said, they'll be good tonight.
Why? Because this is a team game, and both of them think team first. That's why they're going to be great pros.
Brendan Duke, he's dealing with his top line for Portland. Can't get it out, though. Leipzig trying to get in position. Patan has it. Coming back is Duke. He bumps with Patan back in front of the net. And Conrad Albert-Sauser makes a big defensive play for the Mooseheads. He's into the rush now. Passes it back to McKinnon. McKinnon shots off the leg of Weatherspoon. McKinnon has it again, working against Jones. In to help out Patan. Patan will be the one who comes up with a puck. Looking for somebody open. Finally, Jones gets into a good position. Ratty spins, fires, he missed the net, and nobody at the line for Portland. Andrew Ryan was offside, coming off the bench for a change, so that will force play to stop.
Take away the games against Halifax, and Max Ruth has been the best goalie in this tournament, but unfortunately you can't do that, and the numbers say this: 10 goals allowed against Halifax, 6 against the others, and the numbers just drastically different. And McKinnon has struck 4 times against the 21-year-old Chicago Blackhawks prospect.
Three-0 lead for the Mooseheads. This is the championship game in the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup. 2 top teams in the CHL. The final rankings: Portland dominating the Western Hockey League. Halifax dominating the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Halifax right now dominating this game. Rutkowski moves it to Bjorkstrand. Elio's over the line. Bittner goes to the front of the net. Mackenzie Weegar. He bumped with Delio. And the whistle will go. A penalty is coming up.
He's going to go against Murphy. And we'll get to see this Portland power play at the most opportune time in the game, as Murphy is escorted to the box. And I've really liked his game this tournament, RJ. I think there was times earlier in the year where he was guilty of trying to do too much, especially when he was in Val-d'Or. His game has really settled down, and you can see him erase Bittner there, and that's why he's call. But getting back to Murphy and his play, he has done exactly what he's supposed to do. Make the simple play, make a good first pass, and every now and then be physical. He's done a really good job asserting himself and not trying to do too much this tournament.
McKinnon wins another face-off. Puck went up in the air. Calm and cool. 17-year-old Zach Fucale was able to make the catch.
Well, Fucale, a very interesting character to talk to, and we asked him with the time off, was he able to watch the games from the other teams? And he said, yeah, I'll check him in, check him out once in a while, but you know, I like to do other things. He goes, I'll tune in to listen to you guys, but for the most part, I'm not really paying attention.
Shot from the line, deflected. Halifax came up with it. This is a dangerous 2-on-1 short-handed. McKinnon with Drouin. Shot from McKinnon, blocker aside by Caruth. McKinnon still on it. Pouliot on the power play. The Winterhawks. It's Ratty. Goes circle. Back to Pouliot. Take quarters between those two. It's Ratty again now. Patan back to Pouliot. He's the lone man back there. Patan drops it off for Leipzig. Tries to go short side. Fucale stopped it. Leipzig almost got to his own rebound. Pouliot. Patan. Patan picks up some speed. Tries to cut to the net. Pouliot was better than a point per game during the Western Hockey League regular season. That was as a defenseman. Pass in front. Leipzig. He got a chance. Fucale got over and made the save. Drouin. How does he have the energy? Trying to go one-on-one short-handed. He's been out there for that whole penalty kill. Now he'll have to get to the bench. Doesn't have much left now. Portland. Patan in front of the net. It's loose. Patan again. Fucale's down. Another chance. Bittner got the shot. Fucale the save. Falkenhams without a stick. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Jones fakes the shot. Ratty's still out there. Ratty, not much on that one. Austin Hardy had it up in his equipment, and then he's able to clear it out to the neutral zone.
He too has done a really good job back there for Halifax. Austin Hardy, you haven't talked about him a whole lot, and I think that's very complimentary of his game and what it should be.
10 seconds to go in this power play. Fucale lets it go behind his man. Here's Hardy again, wrapping it around. Trey Lewis got it along the boards. Bjorkstrand kept it in, poked away out of the penalty box. Murphy, lead pass for Murphy, and it was out of his reach. Icing for Halifax, and it was that close. It was almost a breakaway for Murphy, and almost a goal for Portland on the power play too.
With Portland coach Travis Green, and what do you like most about the way your team has started period 2?
Well, we're a lot better than we were last period. That's the one thing I liked about it. I thought we played about 4 or 5 minutes last period to our potential, and they deserve to have the lead right now.
Is there anything you said specifically in the intermission prior to this period?
We've got to compete a lot harder. We lost way too many puck battles, and we let them come at us. Our forecheck was slow and late.
Travis, thank you.
All right, thanks.
It's about as honest an assessment as you can find, and couldn't agree more. You know, this guy's done such a great job since taking over in late November after the sanctions were levied by the WHL against the Portland Winterhawks that basically eliminated head coach and general manager Mike Johnson. Travis Green was put in a position where he had to take over, and he's been brilliant with this hockey club ever since, but he now faces his biggest challenge as a head coach in this game.
Both these coaches so confident in their teams, rightfully so with the seasons they had in their respective leagues, but right now it's Halifax has the upper hand. Falkenhams down low. Rutkowski pokes it past him. Brendan Duke, he'll pinch down to try to keep this pressure on the Winterhawks. Bouncing puck. Players battling for it. Finally, it comes over to Rutkowski. Stands on his pass. Stephen McCauley steals. McCauley moves it back to Albertshauser. Gets caught up in the skates of Ashley, and then by the time he takes the shot, there were plenty of Winterhawks back, and they deflected out of play.
The captain, Rutkowski, has turned over a couple of pucks. Very uncharacteristic, and you can credit that to a good hard forecheck here by the Halifax Mooseheads. You see Duke pinching in on the far side, and then it's the puck battles that Travis Green talked about. There's McCauley right here, once, twice. The puck goes to the near side. McCauley doesn't give up on it. He forces Rutkowski. That creates the turnover. That's exactly what head coach Travis Green is talking about, losing those types of battles. You don't see that often from Rutkowski. This guy's a pro.
Wotherspoon being pressured by Boudreau. Behind the net. It's Fournier. All the Winterhawks were up on the play. Fournier couldn't get the pass in front. Taylor Peters working against McCauley. Couple of overagers there. Pass comes all the way around. Fournier quickly ahead to Boudreau. McCauley heading to the front of the net. Boudreau stops. McCauley threw it in front of the net. I think it was Uyghur who redirected that. And Matt Carruth with his toughest save of this second period.
Simple chip in the zone there, and Carruth makes a stop.
Let's head things over to Gene.
RJ and Sam, MasterCard Memorial Cup action ends tonight, but Hockey Central Playoff Extra continues tomorrow and the day after that, the day after that, and the day after that. Daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on The Score, and tomorrow the big game will see Detroit try and knock off Chicago in an upset.
Taylor Peters wins that defensive zone faceoff. Andrew Ryan, he might be having his best game of this MasterCard Memorial Cup.
This line's been really effective with Andrews, Falcon, and Ryan.
Jones jumping into the play again. Put that one through the slot area. Nobody there for Portland. Witherspoon gives it right back to Jones. He'll shoot. Hard shot through Cali. There's a screen there too. He came across and made the save. Shot from Delio. That's deflected wide. Ray Lewis. Chance to clear. He gets it ahead to Ryan. He gets around Jones. Bjorkstrand knocks the stick out of the hands of Ryan, and that will be a penalty to Oliver Bjorkstrand, and Halifax will have a power play.
Yes, that penalty is called in the National Hockey League. Yes, it's called in the Canadian Hockey League, but I often wonder about it because you get in that situation and there it is. It's knocked out of his hands. I mean, you have to wonder if players at some point start to recognize, hey, maybe I'll lessen the grip here a little bit and allow that puck, or stick rather, to come easily out of my hands. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's always a tough proposition when that penalty is called.
Halifax 1 for 2 on the power play in this game. Drouin back to Albert Sauser. Tosses it over to McKinnon. He slides it down to Drouin. Drouin, they don't want to give him much room out there. Pouliot stayed right with him. McKinnon to Albert Sauser. There's a shot deflected in front. Fournier got a stick on it, but Matt Carruth, he stopped him.
Now there's big Steph Fournier in front of the goal and being the menace that he's been. And you know, he was very candid with me earlier in the week saying, sometimes the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League comes to this event as the weak sister, as the weak league. And we're here to prove differently. We're here to prove that this league can win 3 straight MasterCard Memorial Cups, going with Shawinigan last year, St. John the year before that, and Mississauga. And so, yes, we are playing with a chip on our shoulder, and you don't often hear that kind of candidness coming out of a player. But Fournier, not afraid at all. The camera, the microphone, always very honest and very frank.
Well, there was a face-off that they wanted to redo, so now they'll just make sure that the proper time is on the clock. Nathan McKinnon and Taylor Peters, 2 important face-off men for their respective teams. Halifax had 5 players during the regular season who had double digits in power play goals. Surprisingly, their leading scorer, Jonathan Drouin, was not one of them. He's more of the playmaker on the power play.
Yeah, he's definitely that half-wall guy, that distributor. And it's the same sort of setup here with Ferk on the far side, ready to go, and Drouin likely to work the half-wall here.
Drouin had 41 goals. Only 7 on the power play. Portland able to maintain possession off the face-off. Pouliot takes his time before he sends it down the ice. Confident play by Bucali. He loved it. Left it for his defenseman. Leipzig was bouncing around down there. There's McKinnon. Glides in over the Portland line. Nathan McKinnon to Albert-Sauser. Back to Drouin now. Drouin working at the line. Leipzig got it away. Now Leipzig's going to try to steal it again. Drouin avoided that. McKinnon, stick handling nonstop. What a move. Crowd buzzing as McKinnon continues to put on a clinic. Here he is in the corner. Gets to the front of the net, poked away by Carruth. Drouin. Gets away from one check. Tight corner on his backhand. Drops it off to McKinnon. McKinnon right back to Drouin. And they can't get a shot. Good puck movement, but can't get it on net. Derek Pouliot realizes his teammates need a change. He might get in. Got a backhand on Bucali, and Bucali was tight to the post. A chance, short-handed. Portland scores.
goodbye yet for the highest scoring team in the Western Hockey League, and this is good persistence on the part of the Winterhawks and great recognition with the San Jose draft pick. Conrad Albitshauser plays this very soft. As it goes down the wing, he lets Pouliot go to the net. If he plays a little harder on him there and can disengage man from puck, this wouldn't happen. Ratty takes control after the rebound, and from there, Nick Patan sneaks down, and he's able to pick up the goal for the Winterhawks. A much, much needed goal, and his first of the tournament.
Short-handed goal for Portland. And they might get another. Buzzing again. Shot blocked. Latter stages of this power play for the Mooseheads. 15 seconds to go. Patan is a menace in there right now. Stephen McCauley tracks this puck down. Gets over center now into the Portland end. The stick of Fucale warning his players that Oliver Bjorkstrand's coming on shortly. Boudreau back to the line. Uyghur trying to find a lane. He might get one. Uyghur gets it to the front of the net. Puck loose. Portland moves it ahead. Patan has Ratty catching up on the play. Patan stops. The Oilers Bjorkstrand. Oh, he hit the crossbar. Portland with all kinds of momentum right now. Darcy Ashley trying to change that. Boudreau gets a shot. No problem for Caruth. Wotherspoon. Ahead to Delio. That pass to Bjorkstrand. Look for somebody at the back door. Bittner wasn't there. Ashley takes his time. He's at the tail end of a shift. The Mooseheads forward four, all making their way to the bench. It's a long change in this period. Bjorkstrand shot off a stick, goes wide. Rutkowski will keep this in. Andrews looking for Ryan up ahead. Ryan has it at his equipment. Wotherspoon keeps whacking away at that puck. Got it to the corner and then knocks Andrew Ryan down. Falkenham. He has Rutkowski on his back, but doing a good job shielding the puck against two Winterhawks. Abelshauser. His pass in front of the net. That was deflected away from Ryan. Ryan will take it in the corner. Andrew Ryan moves it to Falkenham. Good pad save, Caruth. Pressure's not done yet, though. Halifax. They couldn't get a shot this time. Andrew Ryan. A hard-working shift for the Paradise Newfoundland native, and he needs a change. Made it to the bench. Halifax sends it in again.
Easy to see why he was selected for the home hardware CHL NHL top prospects game last year. It hasn't quite worked out exactly as planned for Ryan, but you can see some tools in that toolbox.
McKinnon looking for open ice. Tried to send it in deep. Taylor Peters voted the best defensive forward for this Portland Winterhawks team. Made a good defensive play. Abelshauser has some time to walk in. His shot deflects wide. Eric Pouliot is pressured by McKinnon. Slid it ahead to Peters. To Champlain. Gets to center. Dumps it in. He'll chase after it. Fucale will have to play it, and he calmly does with one hand. Abelshauser behind his net. Duke, he's dealing with Patan and Ratty down there. Darcy Ashley, his progress is stopped by Brendan Leipsic, and Drouin gets it right back. Nick Patan, he's got Ratty and Leipsic with him. Patan's pass back to Jones. Jones with a shot, save Fucale, and he blockered it away from Leipsic. Ratty has it this time. Just out of his reach as Fournier clears the zone.
This is much more the effort Travis Green was expecting from his hockey club. The last 7 minutes have been great.
Pouliot another shot, missed the net. Leipsic kicks it alive. Ratty knocks it down and scores. Portland gets another one. It's 3-2. Halifax still leading.
RJ, you said it best when off the top of the broadcast. Ratty scores big goals in big moments, and none bigger than this right now for the all-time playoff goal-scoring leader in Portland Winterhawks history. Great job, and I love the calm here by Ratty. He does an excellent job in the neutral zone, picking that puck off from Fournier, and then he goes to his goal scorer's position. You'll see him enter the screen, the right side, so calmly, puts it down from glove to stick, on the ice, in the net it goes, and the Portland Winterhawks now using that momentum. And they're going to have a look here, I think, as they'll go upstairs to see exactly where this glove took place.
Well, does he get a stick on it?
Now that's the thing that's going to happen here at the MasterCard Memorial Cup. It goes back to the National Hockey League War Room. And if a stick is high stick or a glove is missed, they have the opportunity to overrule what's happened on the ice. Flicked up into the air, goes into the glove of Ratty, it goes down on the ice, and you might be right, RJ. I don't know if any stick gets on this. It might end up going off of Fucale first and then in the back of the net. So no doubt this is what the National Hockey League is looking at. You can for sure see it goes off of Fucale's skate. There's no question about that. But does any part of the shaft of the blade touch that puck going in? Doesn't look like that to be the case on those replays, and that's why the National Hockey League's War Room has been put into place for this MasterCard Memorial Cup to make sure things are being looked at in the best possible fashion.
Well, that last angle is probably the best look at it. And this is a big call coming up. Oh boy, I don't know if he did get a stick on it.
I don't think he touched it. I don't think he touched it. He does such a calm job there, but it's Fucale's skate that actually kicks that puck in. A lot of consternation as they continue to go over all of the different looks that we're able to provide. And Ratty sitting there waiting as the rest of the Portland Winterhawks, hoping that this thing will count.
5:44 to go here in the second period. It was a 3-0 lead for Halifax after the first. Here's the call. No goal.
And that's exactly what we talked about, RJ. The National Hockey League War Room can overrule a situation where a high stick or a glove becomes a factor and it's not seen on the ice. So originally it was called a goal, but that's because the official on the ice rightfully thought that it went off of Ratty's stick, as everyone did, including myself. But the National Hockey League War Room has the opportunity to see it in a different fashion. They overturn the call.
Well, Portland came close to creeping to within one. That one's disallowed. It's still 3-1 Halifax. Well, Halifax had the power play, but Portland got the chances.
And it's Ty Ratty drawing the assist on the Nick Patan goal, his first of the tournament, giving 7 points now. And then the Winterhawks think they have another one, but after several looks from the National Hockey League War Room in Toronto, they realized that Ratty did not get any of his stick on that puck after he had dropped it with his glove, and therefore the goal was reversed, and the score remains 3-1 Halifax with 5:44 left in the second.
Portland sends it in. Sauser can't get to it. Ratty was there. He's playing with Bjorkstrand and Delio right now. Rutkowski sends it back to Pouliot. Pouliot back to Rutkowski. The overage captain of the Winterhawks was the second leading defenseman scorer in the Western Hockey League. Brendan Duke. His pass ahead. Cawley can't come up with it. Rutkowski, sometimes those bouncing pucks are dangerous. Cawley didn't have any trouble with it. Upended down low is Sauser, but Darcy Ashley, responsible defensively, came out to help his defenseman. Now Ashley trying to redirect it deep. Pouliot knocked it down. Ratty at center. Delio heads back behind the net. He has it now. Martin Firk in front of his own net. Delio making things difficult for Firk. Sauser ahead to Drouin. To the line. Firk kept it in. There's Jonathan Drouin. 3 points in the game. Firk, he took a shot, it went wide. Drouin and McKinnon, they know their line mate Martin Firk can shoot the puck as well as anyone. They try to get it to him.
And Firk does a really good job of finding spots where he can fire, getting open and using that big windup.
Trey Lewis takes a look, sees the forecheck. Austin Hardy with a bouncing puck, had some trouble with it, able to poke it ahead to Drouin. Drouin working to get away from Baker. He'll have to circle back. Now in need of a change, so some time behind his own goal for Tyler Wotherspoon.
There's a little cat and mouse for you. You see it. 1-2-2 trap now for Halifax.
Champlain. It's past the center. There's Andrews ahead to Ryan. Ryan's got some room here on the left wing side and lost it in. Ratty's back out there. Moves it over to Champlain, and that's caught by Zach Fucale, and he will hang on for the whistle. Portland still trailing the Mooseheads in the championship game.
Sam and RJ have talked about it, and so has the Hockey Central panel, touching on the story of Stephen McCauley, who started the playoffs with a very heavy heart. He lost his mother, Jean, after a 2-year battle with cancer. The support for Stephen and his family has been phenomenal, and Jean is never too far away from Stephen when he's on the ice. McCauley has decided to honor her memory by putting Mom on his hockey sticks. It's just another way for Stephen to make sure Mom sticks with him forever.
It's a touching story because when he was traded from St. John to Halifax, the final game of the regular season, those two teams met. Well, the day before was his funeral for his mother. Jonathan Huberdeau flew up, an old teammate, and it was great to see both teams attending the funeral in support of Stephen McCauley.
Yeah, and what a fantastic young man he is, too. Just a quality individual. 3 minutes, 15 seconds to go here in the second period. Had some fast and furious moments in this period. Some created by that man, Nathan McKinnon. Guy Ratty's been out there a lot. Travis Green sensing something great from his sniper, but this time it was Fucale who makes the save.
We've had lots of goals, and we're going to get some goals as well during the second intermission. It's the old Dutch net a million, and the basic way to put it is 3 different shooters representing the 3 different leagues as part of the Canadian Hockey League will have a chance to win money, lots of it, $100,000, $250,000, or quite possibly $1 million.
Love to see it.
Rakowski takes a shot, and Fucale got over, got a piece of it. Chase Delio right on the doorstep. Portland steals again. Bittner takes a shot, blocked in front by Murphy. Defense partner Uyghur got it away from the front of the net, but not out yet. Darcy Ashley. Alberton PEI, he worked hard, he got it outside the zone. Portland sends it right back in. It's been a better second period for the Winterhawks.
The disallowed goal really took some of the momentum away, but I like the calmness shown on the bench by Travis Green when he got word that the goal was disallowed.
Darcy Ashley, a tricky shot. That was off the arm of the roof. McCauley behind the net. He's working against 2 Winterhawks, and the puck came in front. Mac Caruth, he didn't want to take a chance.
Now there's Fournier doing what he loves to do, get in the kitchen of Mac Caruth, and any goalie for that matter. And big stuff, Fournier has acquitted himself well in this game. Out there with McCauley and doing some fine work in the offensive zone.
Dominic Ducharme taking his time, putting his line out there. It'll be Andrews, Boudreau, Falkenham, so always juggling, changing things up.
Like Andrews in the backhand in the face-off circle, and it didn't work out there.
Jones, chance to jump in, puck bounced on him. Ray Lewis lost it, knew a hit was coming. Jones gets a shot this time, that's up high. Fucale didn't know where it was. He just wanted to make himself as big as possible. It's still loose down there. This puck still must be loose. Finally, the whistle goes to Champlain and Trey Lewis. There are a couple of tough guys in their respective leagues, pushing and shoving. Wow. Halifax somehow kept that puck out.
11 bodies down there if you include the goaltender Fucale. And you can see Lewis and Champlain will continue to have words as they make their way to their respective penalty boxes, but this puck remains loose, and Fucale just can't get a handle on it. It starts with him not knowing where it is, and a great job by Champlain to unfreeze it. And you can see him whacking at it from behind the net. Peters comes down there, so too is Baker, and by the end of it, everyone is down there in front of the goal with a huge rugby-like scrum ensuing. Goes off of Lewis, Fucale pulls off the post, and that's why everyone starts going mad, because they feel there's an opportunity to get that puck in. And look at all the bodies down there.
Well, we haven't had a fight at this MasterCard Memorial Cup. Almost had one there between two pretty tough customers. They know what's at stake here. Game's too close. Don't want to give up power plays. 4-on-4 with 1:45 to go in the second period.
Look at the talent out there right now. The top three guys in the NHL Central Scouting.
Well, Nick Patan, he might be a first rounder too. He's out there. Ty Ratty, we'll see what he can do. Wotherspoon moves it to Patan. Now Ratty. Quick puck movement here by the Winterhawks. Open man is Jones. Puck bounced a bit. Moved it down low. Jones working against McKinnon. Jones goes down low. Behind the net is Ratty. Ty Ratty back to Jones. Scores! Seth Jones! There's a big goal late in the second for Portland.
Well, you look at all the talent out there on the ice. You got a San Jose draft pick with a couple of upcoming first rounders in Duran and McKinnon. And then you've got Witherspoon, a Calgary pick out there with Ratty, a St. Louis pick. And then Patan and Jones expected to go early in the National Hockey League draft. Jones likely #1, and it's Jones who ends up coming up with the goal. And excellent work there by Ratty. Got his back to the boards. He's facing the play, and Jones does a nice job getting open. And then the finish for a defenseman, a tall one at that, who doesn't have a lot of room to work with, makes that one step in to open up the door even more. Portland has found life once again after a disallowed goal. Good persistence there by the Winterhawks to battle back after some adversity.
Still 4-on-4. Darcy Ashley at center. McCauley didn't have much speed going. Ty Ratty coming back. Ratty with a shot. Stopped by Fucali. There's a rebound. Coming back is Uyghur. Fucali trying to cover it. He can't. Uyghur able to maintain possession for the Mooseheads. Stephen McCauley drops it off for Uyghur. Uyghur trying to cut to the net. Instead gave it back to McCauley. Up at center. Hardy and Ratty were all tied up, and they'll bump again in front of the benches. And that will create a whistle as it looked like a great opportunity coming for Portland. Rutkowski was coming in. And these will be coincidentals too, I believe.
It all starts around the Halifax zone. And behind the play, both Hardy and Ratty were working. Ratty with the shot. Hardy follows and tries to finish his check. Well, Ratty took exception and decided to give him a cross check to the chops. And the two of them would joust going back up ice. And it would come to a head when both players were going off for a line change. Ratty makes a turn. And you'll see it as they meet right in front of the respective benches that they weren't going to allow each other's path to be there very easily. And they run into one another, and both of them will head to the box. There it is, right in your kitchen.
Still 4-on-4, 35 seconds to go in the period. Abelshauser, he gets knocked down by Leipzig. He's back up. Andrews moves it ahead to Abelshauser. Andrews tracks it down. Now Wotherspoon. Pass ahead. Leipzig didn't see it. Late pass. Wotherspoon controls that bouncing puck. Jones tapping his stick. Wants another late chance here. He'll jump in. 6 seconds to go. Portland's got to get it to the front of the net. Jones makes a turn in the corner. Wotherspoon can't handle it at the line. And that will do it for the second period. And it is game on. And the MasterCard Memorial Cup championship game. 2 goals in the second by Portland. And that has them to within 1.
All fantastic showing from all the top National Hockey League prospects. Jones, McKinnon, and Drouin, just as we expected.
3-2, Halifax leads after 2. Here's Darren. 2 distinctly different periods in this championship game at the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup. A dominant first by Halifax. They were up 3-0. A dominant second for Portland, where they outshot the Mooseheads 18-6. Had a goal disallowed and hit a crossbar in that period. So it's a very, very close game as we get set for the third period. So pretty tough to tell who will come out and dominate the third, but why was Portland so good in the second?
I think the shift in momentum, when we talked about it early in the period, is we saw the assertiveness of the Portland defensemen really starting to get involved in the rush. That was mitigated in the first period. But take a look at Seth Jones right here. He's the second last guy on the play, and what does he do? He says, you know what? Even though I've got a Halifax player behind me, I'm going to join the rush, and in fact, I'm going to initiate the rush. And so as a result of that, a good scoring chance is created, although the shot goes wide. And the same thing here. Pouliot says, hey, I've got no support from anyone else. There's going to be a line change. I'm just going to take it, and rather than dump it in, I'm going to initiate the rush myself, and it works out to perfection because as the line change is made, you see Portland is able to grab possession of the puck, gets into Patan's stick, and into the back of the net it goes. And who's this? Again, pinching in down low at Seth Jones, and he ends up with the goal. It goes back on his tape from Ty Ratty. So that was going to be key for me. That has been the success of Portland all season long. For those 4 defensemen that jump in the rush, they didn't do it in the first, they did in the second.
Well, that was 4-on-4 when Seth Jones scored. We'll start this third period 4-on-4 as well. Nathan MacKinnon had 2 points in the first. Ty Ratty had 2 points in the second. So the scoring championship still on the line. Both have 10 points so far in this tournament. Did you like when Travis Green seemed to have a sense that Ty Ratty was going to make something happen?
Yeah, he started bringing him out every other shift. And I think when you look at the top scoring goal producer in Portland Winterhawks playoff history, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go back to him? And he's had the hot hand. Travis Green felt it, used him more, and said, we're going to live by the sword and die by the sword. Well, they lived by it in the second period.
Well, if the Colorado Avalanche are wanting Seth Jones or Nathan MacKinnon to excel, they're both playing great. They take turns in the limelight, and it has been a 1-2 punch. That's a fitting title.
Yeah, the numbers are just awesome for both guys. And maybe because Seth Jones plays defense, you don't get to see him as much, or he tends to be in the background a little more than what MacKinnon is with that explosive speed. But take your pick there. Wouldn't matter. Both guys are going to play in the National Hockey League and have long, fruitful careers.
Well, a couple of points for Nicholas Patan as well for the Portland Winterhawks, and he continues to rack up the points, and he will talk with Gene now. Gene.
Yeah, well, Nick Patan wants to play in the NHL as well, but right now concerned about the CHL. And what did your team do differently in that period to generate way more offense than the first period?
I think we just worked harder. I mean, we came out a little slow, and you know, in the dressing room, all the boys are saying just compete harder and we'll be fine.
Was it easy to shake off that disallowed goal?
Yeah, it was a little disappointing. I mean, we thought it was in, but we came back strong.
Do you think you can do what you did in the second period again in the third?
Absolutely. We talked about it in the dressing room. We're going to keep going, keep pushing.
Nick, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Well, in the round robin, Portland needed 4 goals, and they'll need at least that many tonight, guys, if they want to have a chance of beating Halifax.
Yeah, Halifax had 7 in that round robin game, but Portland felt that there were a couple of bounces that went the way of the Mooseheads. And the Winterhawks and Mooseheads both so confident in their teams. When Gene asked Nick Patan if they could play in the third like they did the second, it didn't take them long to answer that one with an affirmative.
It's been a tournament where each one of the 4 teams involved has had portions where it's been able to play its own game. But because the competition is so stiff, it's allowed the opponent to do the same thing. And that's why the games have been really interesting.
Well, third period's underway. Halifax with a 1-goal lead in the championship game of the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup. Teams back to 5-on-5. Jonathan Drouin sends it down low. Nathan MacKinnon. He bumps with Seth Jones. Keeps on going, but Brandon Leipsic came back. MacKinnon, such a good skater. He didn't let Leipsic get away. He's still down there, MacKinnon is. Jones has some time. Uses all of it. Bouncing pocket center. Martin Firk. Back to Albertshausen. Albertshausen's property to San Jose Sharks. Darcy Ashley lofts one in on Caruth, and maybe that's a message from Halifax. Get more pucks on goal this period after only having 6 in the second.
Yeah, outshot 16-6, and Portland really started to turn its game around. Dominic Ducharme could not have been happy with his team's play in that period. On the other hand, Travis Green, with the calm he showed when the goal was overturned, and with the calm he showed throughout the course of this event, the team has followed suit and has not panicked in its game plan whatsoever.
Puck moved ahead by Delio, and it was moved with the glove, and then Oliver Bjorkstrand touched it.
Amazing to think that when you look at this hockey game, how many first-round NHL picks we're going to see. I think the top 3 for sure, and then Nick Patan is going to be in that area. I think Fucali will be a first-round pick. Bjorkstrand somewhere in the middle of the second round, but amazing to see all the draft-eligible players that David Branch talked about with the panel before this game started.
There's Bjorkstrand. He led all rookies in the Western Hockey League in scoring at 31 goals. He hit a crossbar in this game. Wrap around, quick test for Fucali, and he was up to it. Darcy Ashley lofts one in. Softly, he's able to get down there, but couldn't get the puck. Ray Lewis He'll take his time, make sure that that goes for icing.
Well, Trey Lewis's game has grown by leaps and bounds. He wears the C and the red jerseys for the Halifax Mooseheads. And when he came into the league as a 16-year-old, he was wide-eyed and running around, always looking for the big hit. His game over the last couple of years has really settled down. He's getting some National Hockey League looks now. When you look at how tough he is, how hard he is to play, and he goes up raised by his grandparents watching VHS tapes of Bobby Orr with his grandfather Greg, and he's taken some of that and put it into his game.
Right off the face-off, here come the Winterhawks. Paul Bittner, he was the youngest player in the Western Hockey League when the season started. Got pretty good size for a 16-year-old.
Great future.
Puck is to center, and it hit something on the Halifax bench, so they'll do this face-off inside the Halifax zone.
The Mooseheads taking a lead into the third period over the course of this season, 65-0-1. But you never know what these championship games can bring. This one-off showdown. 16-1 through the playoffs for Dominique Ducharme and his Halifax Mooseheads.
89 games this season, including playoffs, MasterCard Memorial Cup, regular season for the Mooseheads. 89 games, and they've only lost 8 times in regulation.
First President's Cup in the 19-year history of the franchise. The people in Halifax going absolutely nuts after that Game 5 win on home ice. They'll be juiced in Halifax tonight, but nervous right now.
Portland dictating the play early in this third period. Lyndon Duke, safe play, lofts it down to the Portland line. There's Leipzig. Made a quick move, poked away from him by Abelshauser. Jones jumps in. He can't get past Abelshauser either. Stephen McCauley smoothly in, got a shot. Might have been going wide. Mac Caruth, he grabbed it.
Well, you look at the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, Halifax's first championship, as we've touched on. And since this became a 4-team event in 1983, the QMJHL has not won a MasterCard Memorial Cup in a WHL city. So trying to create history there. Further history can be created if the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League can win its third straight cup here, and that's been charged to Dominique Ducharme and his Mooseheads to try and do that against a very tough Portland team.
Portland coming off those defensive zone face-offs well. Delio, he's got a short side shot. Nothing happening. Vitale made another save. Eric Pouliot. Pass ahead to Bittner. Bittner from Minnesota. Chase Delio in the corner. There's 2 Mooseheads working on him. Trey Lewis shielding that puck from Bittner. Able to get it to his defense partner, Austin Hardy. Stephen McCauley retreats a bit. Back to Trey Lewis. Halifax having some trouble getting inside Portland's end.
A really good job in the neutral zone.
Oh, boy. Sorry, Sam. I thought that was a higher degree of difficulty than it originally seemed to be. Nathan McKinnon spots his man. That's Jonathan Drouin. Drouin named the CHL Most Outstanding Player at the award ceremony yesterday afternoon. McKinnon steals it right back to Drouin. Derek Pouliot not giving Drouin much room, but Drouin created a bit. Murphy, a shot deflected, puck loose. McKinnon barrels into his man in the corner, then goes after it, wide open in front. Drouin stopped by Caruth. This big line for Halifax had something going on, and then Adam Duchamplain created a turnover. He better be careful. Drouin can do the same thing. Drouin needed to change though, so some time here for the Winterhawks. Pouliot, forecheck by Falkenhand. Open side there. That'll allow Andrew Ryan to come down. Puck bounces to the front of the net. Jones moves it ahead. Top line for Portland's out there.
Noticing Halifax now, that third man high in the offensive zone, a real key.
Brendan Duke trying to get a shot away, but a stick from the Winterhawks deflected it out of play.
Nick mentioned at the intermission when it was 3-0, Caruth makes a huge save on Andrews to keep it at 3-0. He makes another huge save here to keep this game at 3-2. Excellent work by McKinnon in the forecheck. He gets it to Drouin, but Drouin can't get enough on it, and Caruth is able to make that blocker save. You see the puck rolling up over the blade of Drouin. That's still a good save there. Sometimes those changeups are tough to make, and it was a good stop there by Caruth.
Nick Patan Off to Weatherspoon. Leipzig sends it right in on Kukali. Takes a quick look up, and that's not the guy you want to see as a goaltender. That man right there.
Well, Zach Fucali, as a 16-year-old last year, a 17-year-old this year, has played more than 150 games. When you add the under-18s and add the under-17s, when he represented Quebec last year, to think the goalie who has played that much over the course of 2 years to still have the juice to participate in this event and play fairly well, pretty amazing for a young man.
Portland off the draw, and Leipzig tried to get it to Ratty. Good position for Darcy Ashley. Ashley and McCauley. Little give and go. Portland's defense was back. Seth Jones. Smooth skating rookie defenseman. Leading the rush, but his teammates couldn't stay on side.
It's so much fun to watch Jones when he's really going. You saw it at the World Junior Hockey Championships. You saw it in Portland's last 2 games. And you definitely saw it in the second period of this hockey game. Well, if you're the Colorado Avalanche, you're sitting there and you're just chomping at the bit. But you've got a big decision to make as to whether Seth Jones in the storybook ending will be your first overall pick, or Nathan MacKinnon, who's been just so good, the best player at this tournament in my book so far.
Drouin steals at center. Chase Delio was back. Good work by Bjorkstrand to get the puck out. Uyghur being pressured by Bjorkstrand. McKinnon, who's checked by Bjorkstrand. And he's hauled down. No penalty coming. They might let him play in this third period. McKinnon, a steal in the neutral zone. And the whistle goes just offside.
Now, Nathan MacKinnon, an interesting story in that he was drafted first overall in 2011 to the Baie-Comeau Drakkar. And as soon as that happened, Cam Russell, the general manager of the Halifax Mooseheads, got on the phone. And for 2 months, they worked on a deal, he and Steve Ahern of Baie-Comeau. And finally, 3 first-round picks and 2 live bodies. And Francis Turbide and Carl Jelena were traded to Baie-Comeau to allow the Mooseheads to end up eventually with the number 1 and 2 overall picks that year in the draft. McKinnon went first, Drouin went second. And the course of history was changed for a franchise that in 2009-10 won just 12 games.
Dominic Ducharme putting Andrews, Falkenham, and Ryan up against the top line for Portland. No longer going head-to-head against McKinnon's line. Andrews moves it back to Albertshauser. Deflected in front of the net. Ryan reaching for it. That long reach, that came in handy. Weatherspoon along the boards. He hits Falkenham. Leipzig, he has it now. Jones quickly ahead to Ty Ratty. Ratty's in over the line. Leipzig's heading to the front of the net. Pass. Leipzig had his stick lifted. Here's Ratty again. Ratty trying to get a shot. Spins, gets that shot, and it's up over the net.
Seen that movie before.
That's how he scored the game winner against London in the semifinal. Almost that same spot. Jones right back into the rush. His forward group's on a change. He needs one too. Abelshausen, one move inside his own zone. Ahead to McCauley. McCauley skating well. Fournier. His pass is off his stick. Bittner the other way. Eric Pouliot pulls things down. Gets it to Rutkowski. Pouliot now with some skating room. Rutkowski up there. He lost it in the skates of his own man, Bjorkstrand. Darcy Ashley. Far side, it's Martin Burke. Burke, his shot off the post. We've said he can fire it. He gets a good one away there. Right off the post.
That's the leg, through.
McKinnon, he can shoot it too. That just missed the top corner. McKinnon circling the net, bouncing puck. He scores! Nathan MacKinnon! What an effort! Halifax goes up 4-2.
What is not to like about this guy? This is the power game. This is that lower body strength, that hockey lower end, if you will. Burke gets a good chance as he comes cross ice, and Ty Ratty hits the post. And a good job here in the neutral zone as a quick regroup here for Halifax allows them to enter the zone with speed. Shot misses. McKinnon doesn't give up on the play. Look at his body positioning right here. He swings his rear end around. That eliminates Rutkowski, and he takes 2 whacks at him. So persistent is McKinnon. He can't make the first one. He goes skate to stick to back of net. Brilliant play by Nathan McKinnon.
He has been terrific this MasterCard Memorial Cup. All throughout his junior career, the way he's going, it might be the last game of his junior career.
Just a treat to watch.
Now Portland, they've got to get some more offense going. They're down by 2 again. Travis Green goes with his top line. They've got it in the Halifax zone. Wotherspoon, he can't get a good lane to shoot at the net. On the boards, Wotherspoon keeps it in again. Appelshauser intercepts. Hits Andrew Ryan up at center. Ryan has Falkenham with him. That pass knocked aside by Seth Jones. Leipzig, a big hit. And there's a penalty coming up. Appelshauser's down. Halifax will be going to the power play. And you know who we're going to see on that power play? That man right there.
Halifax Mooseheads being led offensively by this young man, Nathan McKinnon, absolutely brilliant all tournament long. And it's been this kind of night. McKinnon across the line, and you'll notice both of these goals very similar in that it went from skate to stick and into the back of the net. As he is persistent in this goal, the puck comes back down low. There he is, skate, stick, back of the net. Nathan McKinnon trying to say to everyone that I should be the #1 overall pick. And Appelshauser goes to retrieve this puck clearly in the numbers. Leipzig delivers the blow. Appelshauser goes down, and Leipzig goes into the box.
Halifax 1 for 3 on the power play. Off the face-off, Jones possession. Able to get it outside his end. Down to the Moosehead zone. Conrad Appelshauser has the puck now. He's the one who took the hit from Leipzig. He's okay. McKinnon, 2 goals in the game. Gets around Jones. Wotherspoon wraps it around Drouin. Knew that was coming. Drouin back to Uyghur. Quick return feed to Drouin. Patan badgering him. Drouin back to Burke. He looked behind him. Thought maybe Appelshauser was back there. He wasn't. Mackenzie Uyghur. Appelshauser. Drouin. Here's the speedy McKinnon. McKinnon working against Jones. He's around him. Back to Drouin. Drouin looked at the point. He gets it to Uyghur. Shot off the stick of Nick Patan, who got there in time, and it goes into the box.
Stick there by Nick Patan, and again, some more of the subtleties in his game coming out. He scored here tonight. He's added 7 assists in the tournament as well. And Nathan McKinnon saying, I'm not so sure I'm going to be the second guy selected. 10 points here, a +8. And the most consistent high-performing player in this tournament.
Duke can't keep it in. The Champlain right on Brendan Duke, forced him all the way back into his own end. Pass ahead to Fournier. He had to make a quick move. Peterson's in his face. Fournier still has it. Right down to the corner. McCauley back to Duke. Stephen McCauley, 45 seconds to go on the power play. Head save Caruth. Fournier was set up in the slot. He had 16 power play goals during the regular season. Finding a soft spot in that Portland penalty kill box. McCauley takes a hit, and that allows Pouliot an opportunity to send it down the ice. Midway point of the 3rd period, 20 seconds to go in this power play for Halifax. Mooseheads lead 4-2 in the MasterCard Memorial Cup Championship game. McCauley, so much experience, his 3rd straight MasterCard Memorial Cup appearance. In front of the net, Falkenham got a shot away, and Matt Caruth had that right pad there and then covers up.
Well, the second unit power play led by Stephen McCauley, and looking for the finish from Falkenham, and he just can't get it by Caruth's pad. But 2 excellent saves on this power play. There's Caruth, the first one on Fournier, and then the second one, another look on the Fournier pad save. Good job here on Falkenham as he's got position, gets it to the forehand, but runs out of real estate.
Seth Jones uses his wheels to get out of trouble. Sends it into the Halifax end. Austin Hardy has a bit of time. Defenseman moves it ahead to Ryan Falkenham. His ice time's gone up as this MasterCard Memorial Cup has gone on.
Yeah, he's been so steady. This line's been really good here tonight. I love Ryan's game. Andrews has been solid. And Falkenham, an excellent two-way game for Dominic Ducharme.
Brandon Leipzig. Drouin, not in front of him. Drouin trying to steal that puck. Here's Leipzig. Leipzig gets around his man. Alone in front. Bjorkstrand stopped by Fucale. Big save for Zachary Fucale. Now look out. McKinnon's down there. The puck drops in front of him. Looking for the hat trick. That's stopped. Rebounds in. Conrad Abelshauser. And the Mooseheads are up 5-2.
The last 15 seconds, it's a two-goal swing. That's exactly what this is all about. And it starts with Zachary Fucale in goal. The 17-year-old netminder, absolutely brilliant on this chance. Leipzig creates the 2-on-1. Bjorkstrand stop, and it goes back the other way. One outlet pass from Duke. Absolute brilliance here by Jonathan Drouin. He puts it in a place only McKinnon can get it. From there, they crash the net. Excellent puck support by Abelshauser to finish it up. And the Halifax Mooseheads take a 5-2 lead.
You said it, Sam. What a pass by Drouin.
Oh, the creativity, it's pure brilliance.
And McKinnon knew the break because there's a good chance Drouin's going to get that puck there and pop. It landed right in front of him. That's chemistry. Two-star players on Halifax. Eric Pouliot's pretty good himself. Trying to get the Winterhawks going here. They've fallen down by 3 again. We're down 3-0 in the game. Battled back in that second period to make it 3-2, but Halifax, a couple of goals here in the third. Moved out to center, knocked down by Champlain. Coming back is Stephen McCauley. He's always responsible. Dominic Ducharme knows what he's going to get from McCauley. Andrews gets it in front to Falkenham. Not much on the shot. Andrews, Falkenham working hard down there. Wotherspoon gives Andrews a pretty hard shot. He fell, got right back up and has the puck. Wotherspoon won't leave Andrews around but can't contain him.
Those are the puck battles Travis Green referred to with Gene Principe. Portland was losing a lot of those in the first period and again here in the third.
Rieger hard off the boards. Gets it out of the Moosehead zone. Leipzig sends it in. Travis Green will have to get this top line going. Top 3 scorers in the Western Hockey League. He'll play them a lot. They all play on the same line. For Matt Murphy to clear. He lifts it up above everybody, but that will have a lot on it and goes for icing. Abelshauser, the Mooseheads, they're up 5-2. Here's the save of the game. It's brought to you by MasterCard, proud to sponsor the MasterCard Memorial Cup, North America's toughest championship.
A game-defining moment as Leipzig gets in and gives it over to Bjorkstrand, but an excellent save by Fucale. And a short time after that, left pad save by Fucale. The Mooseheads would go up ice and score. A 2-goal swing created by that save.
As expected, Travis Green right back to his top line. Under 7 minutes to go here in the third. Not much time to get 3 goals just to tie for Portland. Western Hockey League's best. So good. Eric Pouliot, better than a point per game. The top scoring defenseman in this championship coming in. Seth Jones, he scored tonight.
A little discussion right now because the icing came from Halifax zone end. The officials are now discussing who was on the ice. Duran was saying, yes, indeed, I was. And now the officials are getting together to see whether he was or not. Have to roll back the tape. And they're going to say no. And make Drouin come off the ice. And here's how it looks. Good try. There's Ryan, and then Drouin would have come on for Ryan at that point, but the change wasn't made in time. So it's Ferk, rather, who has to go back out. How about that? I'm not so sure I like that. I mean, the situation where I know Dominic Ducharme wants his own players out there, but there was enough time with the television break that you'd think you'd be able to get by one faceoff. You look at the time left on the game clock and you say to yourself, okay, might come in a little handier later. We'll keep an eye on that.
But he might not have the players out there that usually he would in this situation, so maybe a timeout. He's up by 3. An opportunity to use it. The insurance goal of the game. It's brought to you by your local insurance broker. To score your insurance goal, your best insurance is an insurance broker.
Who else would you go to but Nathan MacKinnon and the excellence he has shown all tournament long. Great job on the body position, and the finish pretty good too as he goes from skate to stick. Yeah, I thought it was Ryan who was out there, and indeed it is. He has to go back out.
Now the face-off. Halifax gets it down into the corner. Portland working hard to get possession, and they do. Jones doesn't shoot. Ratty will. Its bodies in front, didn't get through to the net. Halifax gets it to center. Not much further than that. Ryan thought about changing. He stays out there. Sauser in front of his own net. Doesn't connect with Ryan, and Jones can't keep it in. Now he's going to have to contend with Ryan in there, and found his defense partner Pouliot, and Pouliot smoothly the other way. Leipzig, quick pass. High Ratty, had it bounce on him. Mooseheads will clear again. Falkenham. Now the wholesale change will happen. Drouin's out there. Pouliot will have to hurry. Jones up to center. Taylor Peters lofts it over the defenseman, and Fucale able to corral it, and he will hang on for a faceoff with 5 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. The Mooseheads lead by 3. Well, it's about that time. The MasterCard Memorial Cup making its way, getting close, under 6 minutes to go. Halifax up by 3. It's been such a good season for the Portland Winterhawks. Such a potent offensive team. You never want to count a team out.
The most prolific scoring team in the Western Hockey League this year. Only 2 teams with over 300 goals. It was these Winterhawks and the Kelowna Rockets.
Ratty's had some big goals. Nick Patan, Brendan Leipzig, they're out there. They tied for the CHL points lead with 120 points. Sauser sends one near the front of the net. Caruth slashed the man in front. That was Martin Ferk. He's seen enough of these Mooseheads. There's Leipzig. Drops it off for Patan. Deflected. A rebound. They score. Oh, you don't want to count Portland out. There's the big line coming through. Leipzig puts it in. And with 5:28 to go, Portland's down by 2.
Well, it's 2 points in the tournament for Brendan Leipzig, who had 120 points in the regular season. He's finally able to add. And watch the knuckleball effect this puck has. That's why Zach Fucale can't control the rebound. It has a knuckleball type flight to it off the stick of Patan. And as it bounces back out, Leipzig is there to grab the rebound and does a good job getting enough plate on it to get it over top of Fucale and into the back of the net. And no quicker do we talk about the high-scoring Portland Winterhawks. They draw it within 2.
Leipzig had 49 during the regular season to lead the Portland Winterhawks. That might be one of his biggest. Pouliot gets it ahead to Taylor Peters. Peters over the line. All the Mooseheads are back. Stefan Fournier. He takes a long shot on Caruth, and he redirects that up over the glass.
Fournier getting into the face of Jones. And no surprise there. Fournier is that irritating, tight player. You're not going to throw Seth Jones off of his game. And it'll be oh so interesting now to see this active defense really jump up onto the ruck. 5 minutes left to play. 2 goals down. cannot count Portland out.
Right back to the top line. Not a surprise. Long shot. Hits some bodies in front. Patan. He has had a 3-point night. He's been in on all 3 goals by the Winterhawks. He's got some scouts buzzing, no doubt about that.
He's played an all-around game, all tournament long for 10.
There's Leipzig again. He's into the Halifax end. Bought some time till his teammates arrived. Ratty has it in front of the net. Patan's all alone. What a play by Zed Fukali to get a stick on it and knock it away from Patan.
Wow, Patan, I mean, sitting there, waiting and waiting and waiting. Samori got in behind that Halifax coverage as Leipzig makes a beautiful creative play, and then of course the toe drag there for Ratty, and he's got his man all alone in front of the net, and Patan can't get a stick on it because Fukali makes the smart play and just throws the blade of his stick out there to direct it out.
Not the guy you want to leave wide open in front of the net. A breakdown by the Mooseheads. They got away with one. McKinnon wins the faceoff. Uyghur wraps it around hard. Rutkowski kept it in. Delio chases Uyghur down in the corner. Portland, they've got some jump. A chance. Delio. Fukali, he'll have to be sharp in the final 4+ minutes. Rutkowski, his pass to Delio. There's another save by Fukali. Halifax eases the pressure for now. McKinnon with that great speed, trying to get around Pouliot. Pouliot wouldn't let it happen.
What a burst, and really nice subtle play by Pouliot to run the screen.
Pouliot going coast to coast here. Pouliot's shot is wide of the net. Burke moves it ahead. Drouin can't come up with a pass. Jones to Patan, right back to the top line. Tons of ice time for Patan, Leipzig, Ratty. Here they come again. Patan tried to get it in front. Trey Lewis stayed with him. Seth Jones is down there digging at the puck. Patan and Trey Lewis battling for it, and it's Darcy Ashley who comes up with it. Patan, he gives Ashley a hit along the boards. Stephen McCauley, he has it in the Portland end. Pass across. Fournier couldn't convert. Another wraparound. Did Caruth get there in time? Halifax is celebrating. Referee saying no, it's not a goal.
Well, Leipzig gave McCauley a whack with the stick in the rear end because McCauley had started to celebrate, but there was no goal call made on the play. It was the Mooseheads who, in fact, started cheering early. And if you look behind the net, there was no call. But a good job here by McCauley. He chips it to himself. And now he's got Fournier. Fournier misses this attempt, but he'll try and create the wraparound right here. The puck's lying in the crease, and it's under Caruth. It does go in, but the whistle did blow first. And that's why the faceoff will remain to Caruth's right. It's that close to, I think, putting the final nail in the coffin. But what a stop there by Caruth on Fournier. And the whistle before the puck goes in the net. Oh, so close. Wow. And that's why Dominic Ducharme is now down at the Halifax bench. He wants them to have a look upstairs, and I think that's what they're going to do. As Kendrick Nicholson, the referee from the Ontario Hockey League, has gone into the box to talk to the NHL War Room.
Did sound like the whistle had gone, but still the intent to blow the whistle is in play here. So it's officially no goal.
And Dominic Ducharme smart here to use that extra time on the review, almost like a timeout.
3 minutes and 10 seconds to go.
Well, you think about the crossbar by Bjorkstrand, you think about the disallowed goal, and that's the difference in this hockey game right now.
Face-off win for the Mooseheads. Abelshauser, that hidden balled around inside the Portland zone. Missed the net though. Patan, he's out there. That review gave the top line for Portland a little bit of rest. Rutkowski steals at the line, but Winterhawks are just offside. Let's get a connected update. Here's Jamie Thomas and Aaron Hawksworth.
We have a first-time winner at the Indianapolis 500, which you saw right here on Sportsnet.
Plus, we'll show you which Blue Jays player is creating a worldwide buzz.
No shortage of highlights from this championship game of the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Might have a few more coming up. Just under 3 minutes to go. Derek Pouliot over to Seth Jones. Leipzig at center. Pouliot. Things were clogged up in the neutral zone. He could only dump it in. Brendan Duke along the boards. Patan steals. He has it in the corner. His pass in front. Mooseheads chomp at it. Get it out. Ryan was at the end of a shift. Pouliot will take possession. Head to Leipzig. Sauser intercepts. Drouin. He makes one move. Another move. McKinnon's down there. Gets it in front. The shot from Sauser. Not much on it, but he's able to keep it in. Slides it over to McKinnon. Seth Jones. He saw that developing and got his stick in the way.
Another good defensive read for Jones.
Look out though, McKinnon. He gets a shot, a hard one that knocked the stick out of Pouliot's hands, but held onto it long enough to deflect it out of play. The hardest working player of the game, brought to you by John Deere. Looking to score big on a John Deere? Then don't miss the Deere season sales event at your local John Deere dealer and save on gators, compact tractors, and more. Visit your local John Deere dealership today to save.
Nathan McKinnon working hard in the dressing room to tape that stick, and why wouldn't you? It's been magic for him all tournament long, but again here tonight, he's picked up a couple of goals. McKinnon working extremely hard all game long. He has played a tough game and a heavy game, and it's really worked out well for him as he is the tournament leader in points.
At the point in the game now where Travis Green's Portland Winterhawks down by 2. Have to start thinking about getting the goalie to the bench. There will be a face-off in the Halifax zone. And there it is, timeout.
Well, interesting to watch this Portland Winterhawks team all season long. Got off to a huge start with 20 wins in its first 25 games. And then, of course, the sanctions that brought them down. They tried to rally behind Mike Johnston's being removed from the head coach and general manager's position, allowing Travis Green to take over and doing a fantastic job. A little bump in the road in the first round and a 6-game series win over Everett. And then the Edmonton Oil Kings took them to 6 games. And finally, they were able to climb that mountain. The last 2 years previous to this, losing in 7 games to Edmonton in the Ed Chynoweth Cup final, and the year before 5 games to the Kootenay Ice. Third time was a charm for the Portland Winterhawks, and here they find themselves up against it, down 2 with .55 left.
And there's Matt Carruth. Will this be it for his junior hockey career, or will there be extra time? Portland has the firepower to score 2 quick ones. Minute 55 to go. Face-off in the Mooseheads zone. Brent Andrews, Brendan Leipzig. Face-off is Scrum. Coming in to get it, Bjorkstrand. Extra attackers out there for Portland. Pouliot over to Jones. Ratty gets it back to Jones. Again, takes the shot. Ratty, he takes the shot. Hit a skate in front and missed. Went right to Pouliot. Now over to Ratty. Shoots this time. And that one is deflected again. Patan working against Wiegand. Here's Leipzig. Laps it around to the open side. Ty Ratty has it. Minute 25 to go. Seth Jones right back to Ratty. He'll take a look at the net. Shoots again. Bukelli stopped it through a crowd. Pouliot back in front. Here's Ratty. He scores. Ty Ratty. What a player. What a goal scorer. And there's a minute 16 to go. It's a 1-goal game.
You want to go to your top dog in times of need. And Ty Ratty is brilliant this entire fray, because the first couple of opportunities he has, he realizes he can't get it to the net, so he goes low far pad in looking for a rebound for one of his players, or puts it in an area where the puck can be deflected. That's not the normal Ty Ratty shot, but it's the smart shot. But the second time he gets it into a position where he knows he can bury it, and he makes no mistake, short side up over the blocker, and things getting a little dicey down there right now.
Assists going to Derek Pouliot and Nick Patan. Patan is 4 points in the game. He's been in on all 4 Portland goals. Halifax maybe reeling a bit. Jones comes through center, dumps it in. Carruth's on his way back to the bench. Extra attacker coming out for the Winterhawks. 55 seconds to go. Ratty moves it back. Here's Bjorkstrand. He came off the bench to replace Carruth. Jones moves it over to Pouliot. Back to Jones. Portland maintaining possession. Ratty in front of the net, bouncing puck. Jones can't keep it in. Now the Winterhawks have to clear the zone. 30 seconds to go. Patan's in, taking a look. Trying to get the pass down low. Halifax working hard. Ahead to McKinnon. McKinnon to the open net. Hat-trick McKinnon. And that will ice it for Halifax. The Mooseheads celebrate. 22.4 seconds to go. The Hats come on the ice. And the Mooseheads lead 6-4.
Raw emotion for the kid. And what a way to cap what is likely his junior career. Nathan McKinnon would not give up on that puck at the Halifax blue line. And he fought through 2 more checks to get it across center to do the smart thing, and then still had the presence of mind to send it towards the net and seal the deal. Look at McKinnon right here. He won't lose this battle. Puck comes out, checked once, checked the second time by Leipzig, and still able to have the presence and the wherewithal to get by the Leipzig stick and to seal it with the empty netter. Both games against Portland, McKinnon with the hat trick, and look at the raw emotion afterwards. Into the bench he goes, and well received by the rest of his teammates.
And in the background, a smile on the face of Dominic Ducharme. He always has his game face on back there.
Can you imagine what's going on in Halifax right now? Oh boy.
There's 22.4 seconds on the clock. Scoreboard said 6 for Halifax, 4 for Portland. Mooseheads, they to the line. Cooley on a shot. Fucali to save. 4 seconds to go. Back in front. Mooseheads get it. They're on the ice. Halifax, you can celebrate your first title. The Mooseheads are junior hockey's best.
Heavyweight tilt for the final buzzer. 19 years long the wait has been for the city of Halifax. They got their President's Cup. They enjoyed that one and celebrated for a couple of days. They've got their MasterCard Memorial Cup now, and I can't even begin to imagine what the celebration will be like now.
What a game. Just when you thought the Mooseheads would run away with it, Portland battled back. Then the Mooseheads another big lead. Portland battled back. Nathan McKinnon, Jonathan Drouin. What a couple of players they are. Halifax can be proud of those 2 guys. Mac Carruth, overage player. His junior hockey career comes to an end. Chase Delio, it's tough to take for these players. So close. Such a good year for Portland. Not used to losing. They worked hard to stay in this game. Kept battling back. Came close to tying it too. Zach Fucali, he had some big saves late.
And once again, Fucali does just enough to get the job done. A couple of big saves. 44 shots on goal, fired Fucali's way. He stops 40 of them.
Mooseheads celebrating now the handshakes. Captain Trey Lewis from Aldwain, New Brunswick, leads his team. Well, these 2 teams certainly entertained in the championship game. We expected they would. Halifax was #1 in the CHL rankings, Portland #2. And that's how it ends in this championship game. Halifax is #1.
The traditional handshakes now. May this be the last game for Seth Jones, for Nathan McKinnon, for Jonathan Drouin. And there it is, #1 and 2, good buddies with the handshake there.
Team Canada teammates, World Junior team. That was McKinnon and Witherspoon. Well, Seth Jones, what a game he had. Scored a goal, jumping into the rush. He was out there late, and they were looking for the equalizer.
what a job by the Portland Winterhawks to battle through adversity all season long to get to this title game. And when you look ahead to where the Winterhawks are going, it's a team that may very well appear in London next year as well. Good core group of returning players, very, very talented, and there's a couple of more World Junior teammates.
Travis Green, some words for Nathan MacKinnon. What can you do? He's just that good. 5 points for Nathan MacKinnon in the championship game. You bet he is. 58-win season for the Mooseheads, a franchise record. 120 points for the Mooseheads, a franchise record. A President's Cup, first one in the team's history, and now a MasterCard Memorial Cup for the first time ever for the Halifax Mooseheads. They are junior's best hockey team. Well, Nathan MacKinnon, he's the star, no doubt about it. 5 points. You'll see him coming up. Let's hand things over to Connecticut.
I'm sure we're all on the same.
Thanks very much. Coming up on Connected, a wild finish at the Blue Jays game and also at the Indy 500.
Yeah, but before we get to all of Sunday's action, let's send it back to Saskatoon for the MasterCard Memorial Cup trophy presentation.
Thank you very much. The celebration continues at ice level as the Halifax Mooseheads enjoy what is their first championship in the Canadian Hockey League, and also the Memorial Cup goes back to Atlanta, Canada for the second time in 3 years. Hockey Central up top enjoying this view along with Nick Kyprios and Damian Cox. Nathan MacKinnon came to this tournament with a real challenge. Individually, he wanted to answer back for losing that #1 rated prospect going into the NHL entry draft. He does that head-to-head against Seth Jones with 9 points in 2 games.
Yeah, only Colorado will know for sure what direction they want to go. But if they needed reason to at least contemplate what they were going to do, he gave them one heck of a reason this week. A special player. We talked about Saturday night, Damien, the first battle against Seth Jones in Portland. And for him to come back with another hat trick 8 days later and almost one-up himself, to me is phenomenal. And you know who my picks would be if I was drafting in the NHL as a general manager. And I think he continues to win people over, that he is legitimately the #1 guy.
Let's bring in Gene Principe at ice level.
Darren, thank you very much, and thank you to the public address announcer, and a thank you to Saskatoon and the 4 teams here at the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup. Give yourselves a round of applause. What a great 10 days it's been in Saskatoon. Well, for 15 years, MasterCard has been the title sponsor, and that's why it is called the MasterCard Memorial Cup, and we've been joined by a vice president with MasterCard, Milos Vernesevic, for a few words.
Thank you. On behalf of MasterCard, I'd like to thank the city of Saskatoon as well as the Western Hockey League for hosting an incredible week of hockey. I'd like to congratulate both Halifax and Portland on an incredible final, and to congratulate the winners of the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup, the Halifax Mooseheads. We look forward to seeing everybody in 2014 in London, Ontario.
Milos, thank you very much. It has been a tournament with great teams, great players, great goals, but one has stood out a little bit more than anybody else. And now time to announce the Stafford Smythe Memorial winner as the event most valuable player from the Halifax Mooseheads, Nathan MacKinnon. Congratulations to Nathan and all the great help he received from his teammates. At this point, we'd like to welcome the Canadian Hockey League president, David Branch, to make his way to center ice. And David will be followed by a very special trophy that many young men love to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Commissioner Ron Robison, Commissioner Gilles Courteau of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, I would like to firstly acknowledge the outstanding support and hospitality that Saskatoon provided us this week. Thank you very much. To co-chairs Tim Gitzel of Cameco, Jack Brodsky of the Saskatoon Blades, host organizing committee, the hundreds of volunteers, we are deeply indebted, and once again, thank you from the bottom of our heart. This week we've been treated to outstanding hockey, to the Saskatoon Blades, London Knights, Portland Winterhawks, and of course the Halifax Mooseheads. They represent the best of the best. Congratulations. To Bobby Smith and his family, the owner of the Halifax Mooseheads, to Dominic Ducharme and his staff, to the city of Halifax, as you're going to enjoy your first ever Memorial Cup. To the hundreds of people watching at the Grand Parade Plaza in downtown Halifax, to the players, your families, congratulations. Trey Lewis, Stéphane Fournier, please come forward to accept the MasterCard Memorial Cup.
Trey Lewis, Stéphane Fournier are the co-captains, but because of what we saw tonight, 5-point performance out of Nathan MacKinnon, the 2013 Memorial Cup championship will forever be known as the MacKinnon Memorial Cup. Back to Gene Prince-Smith.
Darren, thank you. With Nathan MacKinnon, and what has this all felt like for you?
You know, this is unbelievable. You know, these 20 guys that we played with all this year, and to win in this style, it's a really close game, really exciting. And, you know, I'm speechless right now, and it was an amazing feeling.
Can you describe just how you stepped up in the round robin against Portland and then again tonight?
You know what? I think it was a full team effort. Personally, it wasn't just me. I think everybody played unbelievable, and it's obviously nice to get a couple.
Describe just all the talk about the draft positioning, and not necessarily that you wanted maybe to make people wonder about the first overall pick, but how you felt about your play and proving that if you are first overall, you've earned it.
You know what? I don't think about too much the draft right now. This is probably the best moment of my life, and obviously I want to have a good tournament. I'm not sure how the draft will go, but right now I'm just going to enjoy this.
What's the best part of winning?
Celebrating with these guys. They're brothers. You know, we love each other. And, you know, the feeling right now is indescribable, and I can't wait to celebrate with these guys tonight.
And we're going to let you do that. Thank you, Nate.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What a great tournament on the part of Nathan MacKinnon, Darren. And, of course, it is the MasterCard Memorial Cup, and I think you'd have to say that his performance was You guessed it. Priceless.
And what is really amazing about the Halifax Mooseheads is, and we'll get to Damian Cox here and Nathan McKinnon in just a moment, but they did it with a core of 17-year-olds. Not just one, but core 17-year-olds who were their best players.
Well, and when they're 17-year-olds who are among the best players on the planet, they're just not ordinary 17-year-olds. But, you know, the one thing, and Nick talked about this earlier in the week when he pulled up a video evidence comparing Nathan McKinnon and Sidney Crosby. And we've all kind of been reluctant to make that comparison because they're from the hometown and it's unfair to a young guy. But when you see a young man rise to the occasion, not once but twice, in a head-to-head matchup against his chief rival and then in the championship game, Nick, how can you not compare him to Sidney Crosby?
No, Damian, I can see it. And, you know, I look back at my career and I played with some pretty good power forwards. Brendan Shanahan certainly comes to mind with the London Knights. But in today's day and age now, for these guys to do what they do at 17 and 18 and to see that power and explosiveness, and that's the first thing that I draw out of McKinnon is his ability to go north, south, east, west with power.
Which is like?
Sidney Crosby. And, you know, even if he falls a little short of Sidney Crosby, he'll still be one of the better players in the world when it's all said and done.
Nathan McKinnon, Jonathan Drouin, with their best games of the tournament in the final. Add to that list Zachary Fucale. Here's Gene.
Thank you very much, Darren. And Zachary Fucale still celebrating it. Sorry for intruding, but it is a moment that you want to share with your teammates and certainly with Halifax. Thank you very much, Darren. And Zachary Fucale still celebrating it. Sorry for intruding, but it is a moment that you want to share with your teammates and certainly with Halifax fans and all the fans who've watched CHL hockey on Sportsnet all season long. What's it like to be a champion?
It's I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to say the same thing. But I mean, a big thanks to all the boys. It's all, we all deserve it here, and thank you to everyone, all the fans, Halifax, my family here with me. Thanks to everyone, staff. Couldn't be happier. This is awesome.
What did you think about this game? Because your team ran out to such a nice early lead, and then it was pretty tense all the way to the end.
Yeah, I mean, Portland certainly gave a good fight. I mean, it was for sure they weren't going to give up, and I think it was one of the longest games I've ever been in, and I'm really happy the boys gave it their all, and we came out with it. We came out with the last win of the season. This is awesome.
Zachary, thank you. Congratulations. Go enjoy yours.
Thanks, Gene.
Zachary Fucale, who is a #1 rated North American goaltender, and Darren, the youngest goalie in the tournament, looked like the best goalie in the tournament, especially after tonight.
This is the 15th MasterCard Memorial Cup on Sportsnet. I don't remember a team being this young, but this young in goal. To be able to lean on a draft-eligible goaltender like they did with Zachary Fucale.
Yeah, and on the other side, we had Karuk, who's older at 21, and yet the one guy that looks technically sound, the one guy that showed poise, calmness, was Fucale. And don't tell me for 1 second the scouts don't notice that. And I know he's probably ranked as a mid-first rounder, but if you're in dire need of a goaltender, Damian, why wouldn't you take this guy?
We've heard from Nathan McKinnon, Zachary Fucale. Here's Jonathan Drouin.
Well, here he is, the man who was the magic man when it came to assists tonight. But you discuss your night, Zachary Fucale, Nathan McKinnon, all the big players coming up with big-time performances when the team needed it.
Yeah, I think we did that all year. You know, when there's pressure games, I think we performed well. And once again, it was a good game for us tonight, and we're pretty proud about it.
I should mention Marty Ferk as well, because your line was dominant tonight. What were you able to do to have the kind of night that most lines dream of?
I think we're just trying to find space. You know, we started hard work down low, me and Nate cycle, and Marty's got a great shot to finish, like on the fourth goal, and everyone's proud of that.
Baby, #1!
Oh, he's already taken off. Well, Nathan McKinnon, what did you think of his leadership in this game, almost saying, I'm going to will our team to win?
Oh, Nate was great tonight. You know, he stepped up his game even more than what he stepped up already, and you know, a hat trick to finish the tournament off. It's great for Nate.
Jonathan, thank you very much and enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
They're off to take a group shot, which has become customary. It's interesting, Darren, Damian, and Nick. Nathan McKinnon picks up Jonathan Drouin to go to school every day. And I think after tonight, both these kids seem to be in the driver's seat.
Now the question will be, who goes number one? Seth Jones, Jonathan Drouin, who had an outstanding season, was the Quebec League's MVP, was the Canadian Hockey League's top player. And then you have Nathan MacKinnon. Top prospects will all go to the National Hockey League Combine in a couple of days, so you got your head around that, and then the NHL entry draft. Do you think that the tide turned towards Nathan MacKinnon or Jonathan Drouin at this tournament?
Well, if the tide turned at the World Juniors, and it did, because that's really when it turned in favor of Seth Jones, I see no reason why NHL scouts wouldn't look at this entire tournament and see it turn back towards MacKinnon. Look, you've got 3 downtrodden NHL teams in Colorado, Florida, and Tampa. None of them are going to go wrong in that draft next month. They're all going to get a special player. I see Drouin as third, but mostly because of his size. But tonight you see that vision and ability. He's going to play in the NHL. He's going to put up big numbers too, Nick.
It's really hard for a team now to just take the sole talent of Jonathan Drouin and pass up on the power and explosiveness of Nathan MacKinnon or 6'4" defenseman in Seth Jones. I don't believe that Drouin can compete with that on the first 2 picks, but I certainly see him at third with the Tampa Bay Lightning and then hooking up with some guy named Steven Stamkos.
Pretty nice consolation prize for Tampa since they didn't win the NHL draft lottery. And lest we forget, there's a bunch of other great prospects. So not only are these 3 guys the top 3 prospects in the world, they're the top 3 prospects in the world in a year in which the draft class may turn out to be one of the best in the past 10 to 20 years. It really is supposed to be that good.
How do you think this Halifax Mooseheads team will be remembered?
As Nathan MacKinnon's team, as Jonathan Drouin's team. We've said it off the top that, you know, junior now has become a bit of a big business. It's high profile and it's driven by star players. And tonight in the 2013 Memorial Cup, driven by star players, but a team that followed their leaders, that they never gave up. You know what I loved about this team too? They didn't sit on a lead. They still had their top players charging away and trying to put this game away, and that's exactly what MacKinnon did on the game clinching goal, the empty netter.
A couple of things I think I'll remember about Halifax. First of all, they're the 3rd team from the Q to win in 3 years.
Yep.
And we remember not too long ago, people were saying, well, Q can never win the Memorial Cup. That's number 1. They win in a Western Hockey League season for the city for the first time. But also it rewards Bobby Smith and Cam Russell, the owner and GM, respectively, of the Halifax Mooseheads, for going out on a limb 2 years ago and making a trade with Bay Como in which they gave away 3 first-round draft picks and 2 good players, and then had to trade another player away to get draft picks just to get Nathan MacKinnon. We had Bobby Smith on the other night, and I said, did you think he'd be this good? He said, no, but they did it anyways, and holy smokes, it shows you sometimes that big risk, that big gamble can pay off for you in a championship.
And you know, the other thing too is obviously as it's star driven for Halifax, maybe in a few years we're going to find out how good this team is if we start seeing some other names come off of this championship. You know, we talked about the big 4 on Portland on the blue line, led by Seth Jones, but I thought tonight Halifax blue line was exceptional. Albert Hauser with, 2 goals tonight. Uyghur had a terrific Memorial Cup. Yep. We didn't talk about him a lot, and Hardy as well. Those are names that really stood out for me in this championship game.
And even Trey Lewis, who wears the C when the Mooseheads play at home. He wore the C tonight. He's a blood and guts type back on that blue line.
His dad's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Of course he is. And Ty Ratty and the Portland Winterhawks, Travis Green. That top line was brilliant again tonight. Ty Ratty went toe-to-toe with Nathan MacKinnon the whole tournament long. That's the trophy, the Memorial Cup. It shines bright for the Halifax Mooseheads. This season started with comparisons between Nathan MacKinnon, Jonathan Drouin, and Seth Jones. The defenseman won the World Junior Championship, and he won the top prospect game. But head-to-head at this 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup, Nathan MacKinnon, Jonathan Drouin answered back. For RJ Broadhead, Sam Cosentino, Nick Kiprios, and Damian Cox, Darren Millard hoping that you enjoyed the week